in Africa. Kenya is the gateway to the East African market. Kenya is the leading regional financial hub.
Na eneo hii yote Makueni mlisimama imara juzi. Manake maandamano iko kwa sheria yetu. Kama wewe umekasirika, wewe huna imani ni yale serikali inafanya, una haki ya kufanya maandamano.
Mimi nimeangalia na nimeona ya kwamba hii serikali tuko nayo ni serikali ya majabasi.
Naomba niwaambie, ukisimama imara vile nimesimama straight namna hii, hakuna mwenye anaweza kupanda kwa mgongo. Unajua hivyo?
Tonight, Sound Candy Talk.
Sound Candy Talk sasa imeboreshwa zaidi. Kila siku ya wiki asubuhi tunapambazuka na maabudu na sifa kwenye kipindi cha. Baadaye tunakuletea mahojiano ya moja kwa moja kwenye one-on-one show.
Kwanza nianze kwa mtazamo kwamba umeona vile hali ilivyo.
The age that we are living in, so many things are happening.
Alafu nakuletea taarifa zinavyojipuka siku hiyo zikiwa ange kwenye In the News Headlines. Kisha tunaingia bungeni kutazama wabunge na kusikiliza tuliowaleta kupeleka bungeni iwapo iko imara.
Mr. Speaker,
they should not be given an opportunity to be in those committees.
Who told the people to close the business?
Kisha baadaye usiku kuinangana kwenye udadavusi kamili, Open Forum Political Show.
Open Forum Political Discussion Show.
Akitujue tumepata the right person.
In churches, in funerals, come up and say, oh, it's our turn.
Sasa Sound Candy Check imekamilika.
Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu, lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, mbili yako na tano yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi
kutafuta uongozi kwa kutumia dini au kutumia kabila, unagawa watu. Kazi ya uongozi ni kujenga watu wawe kitu kimoja.
The 2.2 billion has been spent in the office of the president and State House between July and September. If you do that calculation, it means that we spend in that office 23 million per day and 1 million per hour. That cannot be sustainable.
On a certain case, you've seen even Chief Justice calling upon how our governor has disobeyed the court orders. Going there now, where our people, the electorate, who came out early morning to elect a governor thinking that she will take them to the next level. We need the Committee for Legal to write a stout letter to the governor and warn her that if she continues that way, the senator will bring a vote of no confidence in this house. And I know you're all going to support me because we cannot allow this. They are saying they are the ones killing devolution, that we are killing devolution, but they are the ones killing the devolution. I think the COG should call our governors and caution them because they are the ones killing devolution. I think we need support from the speaker of this house. Because we continue that way, there is no use of having governors in counties. In fact, Nakuru County are saying it's better they stay without a governor than having Governor Susan Kehika. And I'm not ashamed to say this. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Senator.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
And we will continue. And the senators should continue, should not be intimidated to do their oversight. She will ensure that we bring order in all the counties, starting with Nakuru County. Thank you. Asante. God bless.
Senator Ledama. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement by Wakili Sigei. And Mr. Speaker, the statement by Wakili Sigei should worry all of us. We are here as the ombudspersons of the citizens who have elected us to come here. If the other ombudspersons who are journalists write about what is happening in counties, you hear statements from county governors that the senator has bought those journalists. Mr. Speaker, the threat, the dangers that our young men and women who are doing their job are facing today, if we don't stand firm, nobody will be able to report. Mr. Speaker, if you come to Nairobi from Machakos County, you'll see a big billboard with President Ruto. It says, if you see something, say something. That is the message that we want to pass to all the journalists out there. If we cannot be able to defend them, for them to be able to give us information, like for instance, Mr. Speaker, today, one anonymous journalist has sent me a clip and said, Governor Narok using public transport, using trucks owned by the county government to build his own property. If that journalist did not send me that information, how else would I have known? So, Mr. Speaker, that statement by Wakili Sigei should be taken very seriously. Because freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of information will all be curtailed. Mr. Speaker, the distinguished senator from Vihiga has stated here clearly that two senators here have moved to court to seek for certain information which will help us carry out our oversight. Because they are refusing to accept that there is a provision in the law, Article 35, of access to information. So if they do not respect that, how else do you expect them to respect journalists? This statement, Mr. Speaker, must actually go further. In fact, the chairperson of security, because it was not in JLAC, it was in security, Wakili Sigei corrected, must now involve the Ministry of Interior to follow these rogue governors, to find out their communication department, to look at the budgets to see which media houses are being paid the most, which ones are being denied, and you will notice that the ones which are being denied are the ones telling the truth of what is happening in the counties. So, Mr. Speaker, we should not just celebrate here, but we should take the statement by Wakili Sigei very seriously. We are losing journalists. The distinguished senator from Meru, not from Meru, from Tharaka, has indicated clearly that there's a journalist who was killed. If we don't speak for them, who will speak for these young people? It's about time that we play our role clearly, we stand firm, because this is a very powerful house, Mr. Speaker. You know, people don't realize how much power a senator has. We are the ones who send the money to the governors. Who says that we cannot all conspire and decide we are not sending any money to them? And this is why I keep on saying, Mr. Speaker, even the Auditor General has got to change the way they carry out their audits. If you audit financial statements, what are you going to see? The statement that I brought earlier today is to be able to look at the performance of that budget, because that is where they are using money to be able to divert money to pay for other things, because they know at the end of the day, when the Auditor General comes, so long as they have all their ducks in a row, their financial statements, they'll get a clean audit. So, Mr. Speaker, I support that statement. And finally, on the statement of capitation, by Senator from Kavindu, it is imperative that we all get to know how much is being sent to these universities. We expect children who attend public universities across the country to be able to compete well. But if universities are closed, if universities cannot pay their teachers, there's no way that a student in Mandera or a student in Narok County will get the same skills as a student in Nairobi, because maybe the student in Narok, the university in Narok, they are denied money. So that statement by Senator Kavindu is very important, and we should actually follow that. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the statement by Senator Hamida, I always forget names sometimes. It is important for us to put our foot down, Mr. Speaker. It is this House that draft legislations. It is this House that has been tasked constitutionally to write laws. I feel so sad for Senator Hamida. The first legislative proposal that she brought was hijacked by the Ministry of Health. Now, she has another proposal which is also being hijacked by the executive. So what is her role here? She sits down, she writes legislations, proposals, they are delayed. Before you realize a legislative proposal is brought from the executive, it is passed through the channel so fast and it is published. Why should she sit down and carry out serious research and then come here and then rubber stamp something which she doesn't understand? And in most cases, Mr. Speaker, the legislative proposals from the executive are plagiarizing the work of distinguished senators in this House. So, Mr. Speaker, that is a matter that we have to take seriously. We have to defend our role. Our role here is clearly to represent our people. It is to oversight counties, and no one should tell any senator that you don't have the powers to do that. We are powerful. Let us put our foot down. I'm very happy to see my sister Tabitha Kiroche, really excited about it, but let's carry out the oversight. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Oroba.
Kina Douglas, kama mnanisikia, I can see you guys, but it's saying that your device is not connected. Ebu kujeni, I don't know what happened to you guys. I can see you guys, but it says that your device is not connected. I wonder what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, please msiniache hapa. Mimi sijui kupiga monologue, tafadhali. If you're coming in, tafadhali ingia saizi, let's have a conversation. We can switch it to something else. Wacha na wangoja. Everybody mwenye anakuja tafadhali, come, let's have a conversation as we wait for kina Douglas. This is a new feed. Douglas na and Njiru. I mean, and not Njiru. Somebody is talking about Njiru there. And Shadizo. Please, wacheni kuniacha hanging. Tafadhali. Okay, let me play another one. I don't know how to do sijuagi kufanya hizo nini monologue. So please, ladies, mkuje ama mimi nijichomoe. All right, let me play another one as I wait for people. Just follow the link. I'm putting the link over there and come in. Douglas Mgani ananiambia. Okay, Douglas Kibogo, thank you so much. Douglas Kibogo is telling me support Kalonzo. He wants to Douglas, I had you in the first place. You told me what he did for you, but I cannot do in this channel. I've been hit too hard to support that. I mean, I support on the side if I can. Boss Lady, thank you so much, you guys, for switching. It's good to do a switchboard sometimes, because sometimes we are really time haina CC, but I believe Douglas and Shedi, they are working mitambo zao ni kama maybe because imeanzikwa hii side iko kwa njia bado inaenda. Shedi, ebu shughulikeni hizo maneno zenyu hapo hivyo kwa studio. Boss Lady, okay. Let me see nani mwingine ameingia hapa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time since I've been here. Msiniache nimekaa kwa kiti peke yangu, because mnajua mimi nitafunga hii kitu. But you know what? We always say this is Sound Candy Talk. This is where you actually can come and have your own show and talk without paying anything. All you need to do is follow that link Click on it. Let your device be, let StreamYard allow your device to get into the channel. We just opened another show because we were running out of time on the other one. If anybody is coming, kina Alex, Jum, Mendawapi, whoever wanted to talk in a Julia, I don't know what happened. Mkiniacha mimi hapa peke yangu nitafunga hii kitu. I don't know how to do that. Boss lady, asante sana. Nani. Let me play another video as I wait for people, because I normally cannot do that. I don't know how to do a monologue. So let me just play this one more video. If not, then maybe it was a bad mistake. You guys voted for me to start another show, so I don't know what's happening. All right, let me just play another one as I wait for people. Thank you so much for watching. The 22 of you guys and climbing. I can see those numbers climbing. Can you please just come in? Hata kama utafungua camera, it's fine. Just come and say what you need to say, because sometimes it's good to hear your voice and to hear what you feel. You just come and say it instead of kwenda kuangalia the morning shows from mainstream media. They also watch ours. That's how they get these things too. All right. So let me play this one. This is Sifuna as I wait for you guys. That's my monologue, Nikichezaga. And then at the end of this, if nobody is out here to talk, I'll be closing the thing and maybe we'll just delete the whole thing.
Saying 2 seconds. Senator Sifuna, 5 minutes. Proceed to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the chair of the committee on CPIC for the honor to second the motion for me. I'm going to take 5 minutes, Senator Olekina, I assure you. Mr. Speaker, it is the American gangster Al Capone who said you should not mistake his kindness for weakness. I want to start by saying this Senate needs to get tougher on governors, because somehow, because they have heard that Senator Sifuna and the others are strongly pro-devolution, that we will defend devolution every single day, they have started taking advantage of our kindness and even showing us a lot of what they call madarao in the streets of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, therefore, this is another opportunity for us to demonstrate to these governors that they cannot be coming to Senate to cry, for us to defend them, for us to give them resources, but the poor pensioners, people who have retired from the county governments, are not receiving their pensions, and these pension funds are not receiving remittances, Mr. Speaker, because counties have refused to remit this money. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree strongly with the suggestions that have been made by the committee here. And I wonder why Senator Osotsi and the committee went for a task force again, which will just buy these county governments more time. I am in strong support of the recommendations by Senator Osotsi that we need to deduct this money at source. Just deduct this money at source the way KRA does, and governors will come and cry. I have seen here at page 20 of the report, counties are blaming non-remittance of money from Exchequer for why they are not remitting this money to the county to pension fund. Mr. Speaker, that would be true if they were also behind payment by only the same amount of time that the government has failed to remit the money or the Exchequer releases to them. If you look at page 20, the county governments are saying that the main cause of non-remittance of pension deductions was delayed disbursement of county government equitable share of revenue, where the National Treasury had consistently, on average, been 3 months in arrears when it comes to disbursement of equitable share, causing the delays in disbursement of pension deductions. Our expectation is, if that is the correct position, Mr. Speaker, then all the county governments should only be at the maximum in arrears of 3 months contributions. But what we know from the ground, Mr. Speaker, is that because these deductions are easy, they are effected on the people's payslips. What the county government is doing is using and diverting these resources for payment of other pending bills, within the county governments. I am a strong proponent, Mr. Speaker, of the Senate either doing what has been recommended here, of making sure that you utilize KRA to retain these monies at source, or, Mr. Speaker, the Senate should ring-fence monies for payment of these statutory deductions at source in this house, on this floor, so that these county governments do not continue giving these pensioners stories that don't make sense. Mr. Speaker, therefore, if you look at the breakdown of the debt at page 13 of that report, you will see, Mr. Speaker, that in fact, the amount of debt that was accumulated prior to devolution pales in comparison with what has been accumulated over the years, especially the penalties that have been imposed for those non-remittances. And as Senator Ososi has said, Mr. Speaker, Nairobi has now become notorious and infamous. If there is any money that is owed by county governments, Nairobi always takes the bulk of the share. Mr. Speaker, if you talk about pending bills, Nairobi is leading in pending bills, almost 100 billion shillings unpaid to suppliers. The other day when we were discussing the report by the Energy Committee, Kenya Power and Lighting is owed 3.5 billion shillings by all counties. And out of that, 2.17 is Nairobi County alone. Now again, Nairobi is featuring as the #1 county here out of the 80 billion that is owed to the pension funds by the county governments. Nairobi takes the share of almost half at 39 billion shillings. Mr. Speaker, when you speak to the counties, you will see in the report, they are also saying, that their on-source revenues are low. Nairobi collects almost 20 billion in on-source revenue. Our total budget this year, Mr. Speaker, is over 40 billion shillings, in addition to the 20 billion that comes from the division of the equitable share. So, Mr. Speaker, for me, I want to say that this House must take very, very strong positions on these issues, because we are fighting for people who retired from these county governments years ago. People have passed on, their families are camping at the offices of the CPF, at the offices of Lab Trust and Lab Fund, looking for payment of pension that should have essentially been paid for by now. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, some of the suggestions I saw there of debt swaps with assets of county governments, and you will see that was a suggestion made by Lab Fund at page 17. Mr. Speaker, I would not support that at all, because, Mr. Speaker, this is how county government assets are going to be stripped in the guise of payment of debts. Let us use the money that is collected from Nairobians. Let us use the money that is due to Nairobians under the division of revenue or the equitable share to pay these pension funds, because they are deducted from the pay slips of the employees. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I want to conclude by saying it is very unfair for you to deduct monies from an employee. If you look at the average pay slip of a Kanjo worker here in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, they are suffering under the labor of all the taxes that have been imposed by this current regime, including the housing levy that we hear is coming before the House, the revised rates of NHIF and NSSF. So it is only fair that if you deduct money on pensions, even if they are getting the short end of the sticks in terms of taxes, they are not seeing the value of the payment of their taxes. At least when they retire, Mr. Speaker, we should make sure that we ring-fence this amount so that they are paid their dues. For Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, we are not going to allow the governor to get away with this. He must remit the monies, and I am going to do everything recommended in this report, including deducting this money here, so that we will find a reason to come to talk to the Senate at last. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to second.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on County Public Investments and Special Funds on non-remittance of pension deductions to the pension schemes by county government entities laid on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 14th February 2024. Senator Olekina Ledama, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, because of the interest in this matter, and also because we only have like 13 minutes, I'd like to propose that we limit debate to 5 minutes. Or 3 minutes. It's okay.
Let's agree, members. Do we limit the debate to 3 minutes or 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, asanteni sana. Naona kila mtu. Shedi, I know you're having a problem here, said yenyu. It's the mic. That's what it's showing me on my side. I don't know what happened. I can see you mnajaribu kujeni. Let's have a conversation. Whoever is at Alex, kujeni. Let's have a conversation. This is a new feed. Me, I don't really normally when you wananijua, when I try to before kina Shedi wakuja and I hand over to them. Thank you. I got a new person here. Thank you. Asante sana. God bless you. Thank you. Naogopa I don't know how to do a monologue. So thank you, Margaret Ochola. Thank you so much. I played a couple of videos there. Asante sana. That's the Margaret that I know. Ukiongea nitajua kama ni wewe. It's been a long time.
Hello. Mambo Mato.
Poa sana. Mambo?
Poa.
Siku mingi.
I bet you are good.
I'm good. Ruto alikukanyagia mahali kukandaji?
Hapana. Hapana. I want to tell people that there is no handshake between Raila and Ruto. Ruto will not rule us for 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Kutoka atatoka 2025 April.
Amen.
So hiyo watu wanajipatia stress. Kuna kitu ingine na agree na Alex. If we don't sort it out now, we'll never sort it out about him and a tribe. See how many tribes South Africa have. See how many tribes Tanzania have. And they are more united. What about us Kenyans? That is the question I'm asking. When will we unite as one nation, one Kenya?
Let the people know. Continue, ma'am. Continue.
I was asking only that question. When will we as Kenyans unite?
So do you think like we are so disunited, like we are hata hatujijui, that one person leaves Kenya and everybody just goes helter-skelter?
Alafu watu pia waache kujudge baba. Baba knows what he's doing. Kuna kitu baba ameona mbele, sisi hatuoni. Give baba time. Tumpatie hope. Njoo pia anatupatia hope. Sasa mkisema baba ameenda juu ya tumbo yake, baba baba that, baba this. Baba have done a lot for this country known as Kenya. Lakini yeye hajajitokeza kusema ati ametoka kwa politics. Baba bado is here to stay. Hata akienda huko si alisema tutampigia simu. So I'm wishing him all the best in AU.
Like I said, it's been a long time tangu tuongee, and it's good to hear you.
And then nimeshukuru Senator. Ameongea ukweli kabisa. I thank her very much for speaking the truth about that woman.
Which one? The Susan Kihika one or this Kihika?
About Susan Kihika. Senator ameongea ukweli kabisa.
Yes, ma'am.
He's messing our county. Ni kuzunguka tu kupiga kelele, hakuna kitu amefanya. In fact, hata asitufanyie chochote. Naomba Mungu sana apatie Lee Kinyanjui uwezo arudi. Aendelee pale aliwacha. Because Lee Kinyanjui was doing a very, very good job in Nakuru County.
Na nikuulize mam, sasa
Yes?
Shabab yani Shabab haijaibadilika tu, inakaa tu vile ilikuwa nikiwa shule huko.
Mi sitakudanganya. Huko Shabab sijaifika. Hata sijui vile inakaa.
Na huko Kilimani juu bado barabara ni zile zile. Kwani amekuwa akifanya nini? Unajua si tunamjua kwa sababu alikuwa akiishi
Hakuna.
hapa.
There is nothing he's doing. He's doing nothing.
So how are you guys surviving?
We are just there. Na kushukuru Mungu. We are not complaining.
Na nasikia
No,
amewafungia
Kenya,
hospitali.
imagine, Kenya ina mwanzo haina mwisho. Mungu yupo. Kenya, we need to go to repentance, starting with our government and our pastors and clergy. Hao walinini na Ruto. Warudishe hizo vitu zote, watubu. Warudishe hizo manyumba, magari, mapesa. They repent and ask God for forgiveness. So God can heal this nation. But I don't see wakifanya hivyo. Sioni.
So Mami, what is your advice to Kenyans from the deep? I mean, you've seen a governor that even us wherever kule tunaishi tunamjua ni mkora. Si tulikuwa tunamjua kakimbilia Kenya, hawezi kanyaga huku
No,
kwenye tuko. So
no,
what do you
Mato,
think?
let me tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
We want people. We want them. They didn't listen. Tuliwaambia wakusikia, they ignore. Just like Ruto, they ignore. Don't keep these people in nini. Hatupangwi ngwi. Look now wamepangwa. Hatupangwi ngwi. They danced all wakiimba. Walisema si uchawi ni maombi. Or walisema ni maombi si uchawi. Now look what disaster we are nini. And you see other countries are overtaking us. What a shame. Lakini what I know, sio wote walichagua hii serikali. Not all of them voted for this nini government. Hata huyo Kiika, sio wote walimchagua. But people are starting opening up their eyes. They are regretting. Alafu njua pia walikuwa na mdomo tam. We'll do this, we'll do that one. Naona. I hope they have learned their lesson.
Ma'am, kuna mtu kwa comment section ananiambia nikuulize swali.
Yes.
You know me, I was born in Nakuru actually, lakini mimi nikatoka tukaenda. I was born in Joro, but I came back to school in Egerton, but nikakaa pia huko 4 years za shule. Lakini wewe umekaa huko unajua, you know that time si tulikuwa tunafanya shule. Now, kuna mtu hapa ananiuliza anaitwa African Boy. Ananiambia nikuulize. Actually, just let me read it for you so that you can answer. Senator and Governor Kihika blood sisters. Can you ask that to Madam Margaret if she is aware of that? Are they actually, because sasa naona wakipigana, is there two sisters being, because there's a rumor zenye inaendelea that there are two.
Me, I know rumors that they are sisters.
So they are.
Yeah.
Na mbona sasa sister yake mwingine anampiga?
Because she's saying the truth. Ndio hataki aseme ukweli. Naanda anampiga.
So ni kama Wetangula na Wanyonyi.
Kabisa.
Okay, so African boy, I think you've had your you've gotten your answer. Kama kuna mtu mwingine ako na swali ya Mami, as I'm waiting for everybody else. Guys, join in. Mom is here. She's willing to answer questions. And like I said, you can come just like her because this is the evening show. You don't have to show your face. Unaweza kuja if you have anything to comment. The link is there. Unaweza ingia. We just have a conversation now. We talk about our politics because naona kuna vitu mingi zinatupita tukiongea juu ya Uganda. So many things are happening below our noses while we are looking tunaangalia huko juu. So, Mami, you...
For Uganda, I thank Baba because Nani Ruto could not be, angeza enda peke yake. Walikuwa wamekosana na the president of Republic of Uganda.
Yes.
Wangesikilizana. So he had to nini Baba, kubembeleza Baba ampeleke.
And you know that's the problem that watu wengi. Shedi, yes, you're working now. You're on the Shedi, now you're coming in lakini unakuja kama it's okay, you can do that way. Mom, and you know watu wengi siku yenye hiyo kitu ilitokea, picha zikatoka, the night was just buzzing, kila mahali watu wanalia na eventually now it's coming out that nani ndo alimbembeleza akamwambia twende tukaongee, so endo unisaidie niongee na Museveni. What do you have about hii kitu ya Wakenya kurukia vitu haraka? Ama wewe unafikiriaje? Unless you're atuko in the same page, but maybe unaweza ni
I could
educate.
tell people to have patience. People should stop rushing things. The way Baba was telling you, vile ameongea Homa Bay. Anaambia relax. Don't rush things. Unaona kwanza alafu una nini? Unangojea aongee kwanza. You see, inaitwaje? Unangoja uone Kenya Baba atazungumza, lakini wengine urukaruka tu punguru. You should have patience. Unaona hata nani, I think anaitwa nani? Ma'am Charity Ngilu. Hata yeye amefanya kazi mingi huko Machakos. Nimeona hata huyu before ashikanishe na UDA, Alfred Mutua, he has done a lot for Machakos. Ametengeneza Machakos. It looks beautiful. I went to it is called People's Park.
Machakos People's Park.
Yeah, beautiful. Niliwacha wakiendelea kutengeneza.
Na White House, umeenda ukaona White House huko?
Huko kwa White House sijafika.
Siapo ukiingia Machakos People's Park. Mi unajua mam, unajua mi waga nasema heri tukue na subra. Subra ni muhimu. Saa zingine unakimbilia kitu unaona imekuwa hivi na bado
hiyo ndo nilikuwa natafuta. Hiyo ndo jina nilikuwa natafuta. Kuwa na subra.
Manake kitu ilitokea nikawawa, hata nikahama social media nikatoka kabisa because hiyo ndio maana I want to engage you more, na naona Shedi amerudi. Shedi, thank you. I don't know what is happening. Shedi, mami kidogo. Shedi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Ni tumbi ndio walikuwa mmenitembelea.
Mumetembelewa leo, mumekulwa?
My enemy of progress.
Hata sahi
amenisumbua but I think I've sorted that.
Okay, are you ready to come back?
I'm already back. I can't come more than that.
That's the best you can do. Okay, nani Dagi?
Dagi's away. Anasema anataka kujiekelea kiasi.
Okay. Sawa. So as we're speaking now, thank you. Who's this? Neil? Yeah, it's okay. Kujeni hata hizo na background ibo. That's fine. Yeah, we'll have that conversation because we have to talk about it. Kuna watu wengi saa zingine watakagi kujionesha, but maybe today we can do that. So Yeah, ma'am, ebu maliza sasa, ebu no usitupotelee, ebu tuambie sasa, ebu maliza what you think like this hii kitu yote, what is happening just in general. Si kitu yote lazima usemeni ya baba, kuna topic hapa. You just say what you want, Kenyans, young people, people like us, nini, you as a lady, what is happening, you can see Kinaish. I mean, just the whole thing that is disturbing you in our country and where you think we need.
For nini hao watu wanafuata baba, they want to become friends with baba. Kuna vitu wanatafuta from baba, hii kufuatafuata baba, alafu ni kama hiyo UDA naona sasa hivi wako na mashida mingi. Kenya Kwanza, I don't know Kenya Kwisha, they have a lot of problems. Huku ni Kachagwa anapigwa, huku ni Ruto anapigwa, huku sijui yani wanapigana wenyewe kwa wenyewe. So mi nataka kuambia before 2027, think twice before voting. I hope this is a lesson wenye walivotea hii serikali, and put tribalism aside. Tushikane, tukue kitu kimoja. I once remember, wacha roho yake ipumzike, Nyerere and Pombe Magufuli. You see, Magufuli alipigania country yake Tanzania, corruption. Nyerere united Tanzania. Baba have tried so much na bado anapigania we unite as one Kenya, one nation. Tuache hii mambo ya kusema huyu ni Mjaluo, huyu sijui ni Mkamba, huyu ni Mluya, huyu ni Mkikuyu, huyu ni Mkale. No, we must stop it. This is the time for uniting as one Kenya, one nation. Asanteni, mkina anaweza zungumza.
Ya mwisho kabla nilete Shedi na wenye wanakuja, tafadhali mkuje. Mam, nikuulize, unajua kuna kitu imekuwa ikinishinda sana. Sijui kama watu wanaelewa EAU. Unajua, sijui kama watu washaelewa hiyo U inamaanisha nini, kwa sababu mimi kivyangu, the way nimelan vitu na vile nimefikiria, that U is union, which Africa eventually wants to be one country. Na ukiona saizi tuko na parliament ya EAU, I mean East African, na watu wanaingia hapo, wanaomba kuingia. Djibouti lilia sana mpaka wakaingizwa. Is the same way kama hizi Amerika wote wameshikana tena, sasa wameanza kushikana na NATO. Lakini shida naona sisi wa Afrika pia sasa, kama sasa unasikia baba ameenda, kila mtu analia, haifai kuwa, lakini watu haoni ile kitu, watu ile ukubwa ya hiyo kushikana. Ni kama kila mtu anataka tubaki kidogo, inaitagwa nini, kidongoji nani, maybe Shedu utasaidia.
Shadiza anaweza kusaidia.
Kidogoji, unajua tubaki tuvijiji.
Tubaki vile tulikuwa. They want us to remain in slavery. Na hiyo tukatae.
Zile borders tuliwekewa na colonialists ndio bado tunataka kubaki nazo. So ukisikia mtu anataka kuwa kitu kubwa, na hizi AU, UAU, uniting, it's called uniting. One time I was asking my friend, sasa tukajashikana tukue country mzima as Africa as a continent, just the way America is a continent but it's one country. tukashikana, who will be the president? Kama hata hatuwezi kubali kushikana, you know, na tukianza kushikana sasa hata
That
watu huku
is the
nyumbani
problem with
wanatusumbua.
Africans. That is the problem with Africans. Hiyo na inatuangusha. Mpaka siku ile tutaamka tuseme enough is enough. Let's Africa unite. Hiyo itakuwa sawa. But for now, sioni.
Lakini kama hatuwezi unite kwa sababu hata baba akitoka ni kelele, hatutaki hata president. Hatutaki president, tunataka president wa
No.
kijiji.
Raila is the last opposition. Hatutakuwa na opposition mwingine tena kama baba. He's the first and last. So wenye watu walikuwa wanasema baba aende 2025 anaenda hiyo AU. And he's going to do better. Wacha vile watu amefanyia watu kazi hapa Kenya. Kuna wenye hawajamu appreciate for all he has done for this country. Mtakuja kumkumbuka one day. My fellow Kenyans. Where will Ruto and his government be 2040? Wakina Ruto atakuwa wapi? Baba atakuwa wapi? Mtasema I wish I knew. Tungepatia Raila presidency. Muombe sana 2027 asimame. Which atashinda, lakini watu wanasema ati mwache kusema hii kitu, ati alikasiwa na baba yake, ati hata haikalia kiti. You know, it hurts many people in this country. Which is not good. Mwache kusema ati baba alilaniwa hawezi kalia kiti. Mungu yupo. God Messiah is the one who gives and takes. Thank you. Mwingine anaweza endelea.
Shady, come in. I know you're working on your stage and everything, so lakini come in.
I'm in, although things are not working on my side a little bit, but I'm still fixing, also working together. But kitu mimi ningependa kuchangia, let me contribute towards the nini. Ama leo niongee Kiswahili vile nilikuwa nimeamua. Acha niongee Kiswahili. Leo ni siku ya Kiswahili. Okay, ningependa kuchangia kwa kusema hivi. Jambo la kwanza, Wakenya tuna shida moja. Na shida ambayo tuko nayo, tuko na tatizo ya kuiga mambo mengi ya watu wa nje, ambapo tunafika mahali tunajisahau sisi wenyewe. Kuiga mfano wa kitu sio mbaya, ama kukopi kitu sio mbaya, lakini si unaangalia alafu unakuja unatengeneza chako. Angalia magari mengi ambayo yametengenezwa nchini, ama magari mengi yametengenezwa, unakuta huyu anaangalia huyu ametengeneza kitu fulani, yeye anaenda kutengeneza kitu kingine, kitu kama hiyo, lakini imeshinda hiyo kidogo, ama muundo tofauti. Lakini Kenya tunakuchukua hiyo kitu na kuja tunafanya vile iko hivyo. Ndio unakuta tunakuwa Kenya, lakini hatusongi mbele. Tuko na uwezo wa kusonga mbele, tuko na maarifa, tuko na kila kitu, lakini unakuta sasa hatuwezi enda mbele, hatuwezi fanikiwa, hatuwezi songa kwa sababu tunajidunisha. Inakaa like tuko na, unakumbuka kuna time mwingine show nyingine nilisema tuko na ile ukoloni mambo leo. Tuko na ukoloni mambo leo kwamba tulishaacha colonize, tulishaacha koloniwa na mzungu, lakini tuko na ukoloni ndani ya roho zetu, na tuko na ukoloni ile viongozi wetu wenyewe, kwamba kila siku mwenye ako na pesa atatengwa na mwenye hana pesa atatengwa. Na hiyo ndio inaleta shida kabisa kubwa. Ni utakuta kuna sehemu moja ina maendeleo, sehemu nyingine haina maendeleo. Hiyo ndio utakuta kuna mtu anatishiwa kwa viongozi kwa bunge, na kuna ile security iko ya mabunge na nini na sort of the things, lakini unakuta kuna mtu bado anaenda end up kutishia mbunge, wanaenda up kupingana kwa bunge, na kitu wanapingana hai make an impact kwa crowd. Hizo line za kujirule ndio zinafanya tunaonekana like Kenya yetu inasonga, lakini we are still stuck. The truth of the matter is Kenya is one of the country that imedevelop sana, until it's state among the 10 countries, the 10 nations, that is the third world country but is the most developed country, until watu wameanza kuogopa Kenya. So number one thing we need to understand like Kenyans, wazungu wakijua, wanajua mmeanza kuamuka, watafanya kila kitu, watadistract kwa kila njia ili mwache kufocus kwa maendeleo, mwache kufocus kwa mambo zingine, ili mzidi kukua beggars kwao. The moment Kenya mnasimama, mnaanza kufunguka macho, mnaanza kusema wajinga wameisha Kenya, mnaanza kuvote na akili, mnaanza kufanya kila kitu na akili, wataleta migogoro kati ya viongozi, watastrategize hata watu wengine viongozi wa collide, so that mwache kufocus kwa maendeleo, mzidi kupigana. The moment naanza kupigana na Kenyan with love, naanza kupigana na Mama Margaret, the truth is I'll not have the chance to focus on my other things na kufocus kwa maendeleo zangu. I will concentrate so much towards kupigana hiyo yenu, kuangalia weakness za Kenya with love, kuangalia ni nini amefanya leo mistake, kuangalia ni nini ameachieve leo, kuangalia anaweza kuza wapi ndo ni drag back, kuangalia anaweza fanya nini ili nimfanya achieve. Na inaletwa tumdomo to watu na ile nini za watu, influence za watu. Right now is high time we wake up as Kenyans, so that tujue tunashikilia wapi, tuna effect na wapi, tuache kuangalia vitu za watu wengine. Yes, baba anaweza kuwa alienda ama anything can happen, but let that one not drag us. Let that one not divert the attention of Kenyans. So Kenyans know you are on the war. Na vita mnapigwa, mpigi vita physically, mnapigwa vita kinjaro, emotionally. Na hakuna kitu mbaya kama kupigwa vita emotionally. It's better I pinch you, Kenya with love, than fighting your emotions. Because when I fight your emotions, nakuletea depression, nakuletea kutokunielewa, na kunafanya unakosa kufikiria vizuri, because the moment unaanza kufikiria hii, nimedivert attention. Before uelewe hii, nimekurudisha huko. Unaona? Inafanya like sasa you can't stabilize. This is what's happening even in the family. Like mmegombana na bwana yako au mmegombana na wife yako. Number one, anaamua kunyamaza. Number two, anaanza kubevunika like hamjakosana. Utajiuliza like kweli tuko sawa kwa hii nyumba? Unaona inakuachanganya zile doubts. Hata unamwongelesha na kwambia hakuna shida, tuko sawa tu. Unaona vitu kama hizo. So they bring you, zinakuacha na zile mahanging, zinakuacha na zile maswali. Like, nimekosea ama niko sawa ama wapi naenda? So the truth is Kenya, kama unaenda kwa shimo hamtaki kuambiwa, ama hata waambie mnaenda kwa shimo. The moment mnaanza kufanya vizuri, wata make insult tu, watajaribu kung'ang'ana kabisa ili wa divert attention yenu. Ndio mpate pesa sijui zimekuja, mnataka 6 billion, nyumba imejengwa na 400 million, inataka kufanywa repairance na 600 million. Sasa yani pesa ya kurepair imeshinda kujenga. Unaona vitu kama hizo. Haya, unakuta ati barabara imezinduliwa lakini imegwama kwa njia. Since the government came, hakuna project ime-execute. Since what happened, hakuna nini imefanyika. Unaona the game that inachezwa, that tunalipa madeni, sijui tunafanya nini. So the attention is being divided so much. Like, me I want to imagine like this. Imagine kama vile Ruto aliingia kwa kiti, alafu azindue SGR, aseme penye Uhuru aliachia naanzia hapo, naanza na for example na SGR, aseme napeleka SGR Kisumu, kutoka Nairobi to Kisumu. Mnaniambia for hii mwaka moja ingekuwa imepiga hatua, singekuwa imeanza karibia hata Naivasha, inaelekea Nakuru for the past 1 year. Hiyo SGR kwa kweli tumeanza karibia na kuruna SGR. Tumeanza kuona Kisumu kwa uso. That could have been development. But what happened? The attention after the election, attention was divided, project zikasimamishwa, hakuna project ina run, nothing is happening in Kenya. And then you say that Kenya, we are doing good, we are going somewhere. Hands up, tunakuja tunaletewa kitu kidogo tu inawa distract. Baba joining AU, ona vile imeleta commotion. Everyone amesimama. Hakuna mtu anakubali kwamba like this has happened ama tunafanya nini next. Number 2, we don't want to reason what next. Kuna maswali ambayo Stone PK huwa anaulizanga na anawachanga na hiyo swali na huwa hatutaki kujibu. We go around the question. Tunaacha kujibu. Like anauliza tumeenda maandamano. After maandamano, so what next? Unaona? Hatutaki kuongelea hiyo, tunanyamaza. Na tumuuliza tu swali rahisi. Yes, tumeenda maandamano. So what next? So you see? Sasa hiyo what next tukinyamaza, hatutaki kufikiria kweli tumeenda maandamano. Alafu what next? Hatutaki kufikiria what next. Itatukula baadaye. Because tusipofikiria hiyo what next, saa hii tunyamaze, tuachane nayo. Bado tu hiyo what next na tungojea. And it means you are entering a new dimension. Umemaliza hii, tunaingia part nyingine mpya. Ama tumeachana na hii, tunaingia phase nyingine mpya. So it is high time we stand as Kenyans. Number 1, we aim and focus, we determine. Watu ambao mmesoma Biblia, kuna ile story na kwanga ya Sanballat na Tobias na Nehemiah. Bila nenda kujenga Israel, wanaamua kurise up kumthreaten ili aache kujenga the nation. But anaamua ku stand up wana face against hizo manini ndogo ndogo. Wanamwambia hata kitu unajenga umbo ikanyage itaanguka. Mbwa ikanyage itaanguka hiyo kitu unajenga. You see? Nianze kuambia Kenya what you building itakanyaga na mbwa ianguke. That was saying like unakuta mtu anakuja tu anaanza kuinsult mwingine ili amtoe moral, amtoe kwa channel, discourage kuencourage wa Kenya ili ashuke chini. So it is high time tujue tule folks tunakuja kukanyaga ukuta yetu. Ignore them, let us focus and aim on building our nation. Build our nation, build our youth, help our youth to move ahead, help our youth to grow, and help our youth to be a better and a good nation ever. Mimi najua kitu moja, hakuna nchi kama Kenya. We are the blessed nation ever. And if we don't stand up and look like the blessed nation that we are, the truth is we'll end up going in an calamity. If we allow the leaders continue ruling and going the way they want, and yet we have the power to speak up, and when we speak up, everything turns. We have a big way to go, and we have a great place to play. We behave like illiterate people, and yet we are illiterate. We are literate people. So it's high time we stand up and we stop all these things and we focus. Mi nataka tusikie kesho SGR imefika Nakuru inaenda Mombasa. Iache tu kugoma Nairobi. Hata ijafika Nairobi CBD, imefika huko chini huko. You can imagine. Kutoka tu tao kwenda SGR. Kama unatoka na SGR ya saa 6 ama ya saa 8, lazima utatoka nyumba saa 3 so that you can get SGR ya saa 8. You imagine. If not that, itakuacha. So it is high time we stand up, we focus, we fight our battles facing towards the goal. Tuache kudivide our attention. We see the goal, but the attention inadividiwa. Tunaacha kuona the goal, tunaanza kufuata vitu zingine zenye hakuna kwa goal yetu. So it's high time we see the goal, we fight towards the goal, and we will achieve the goal as Kenyans and also as people of Kenya. But if we don't do that, we'll be ever being divided at our attentions. And as I continue, as I come back to you, Ndeto, I want to bring out also the youth. The biggest problem we have right now in our nation is the youth. And that is the truth. 1, we are raising an ignorant generation. Number 2, we are raising a generation that doesn't care. We don't care. We just here. We are just there. Bora tumekula, tumekunywa, siku imeisha. mzazi umeleta kijana, unakuta like a 22-year-old lady hajui kupika, hajui kufua, ukimpeleka jikoni anasema hii moshi inaninyonga, lakini huyo msichana anaweza akisha shisha na akaichoma mpaka unashindwa like, huyu tukipeleka mahali tutapeleka viberiti ama tutapeleka ng'ombe. You see such like things. So it's high time we stand up. Vitu kama hizo we educate them tuzitoe kwa system. Ziache kuwa like major things. We educate them, they have knowledge kwamba if I vote, I'm voting for a leader that will rule me tomorrow. Whether nikikosa kuvote itaniathiri, na I think tumeona hiyo. Nikikosa kuvote itaniathiri whether in one way or another, na lazima ni vote kama Mkenya, lazima ni vote kama kijana, na lazima ni vote nikiwa sober mind. Kwanza siangalie huyu mbunge, huyu kiongozi amenipea pesa, niangalie amesema nini, manifesto yake ni nini, na what will be the impact. Do good data analysis na ufuate vizuri, and we will be better nation ever. Tuweze kusema job hakuna, na yet we can do some little jobs. Sijakata, serikali also can create the jobs, but it's high time we tusimame wenyewe, tuanze come up with something that can build our economy. I think that's how we can come back and move as a nation. Back to you, Kenya Love.
Thank you, Shedi, for that. I'm glad that there's young people when you're wanaongea kaa wewe, because that is exactly what it's supposed to be. You see, thank you, Mami. Nimeona umerudi huko chini, but thank you so much for coming out and actually, having said what you said. I wish you can come more often. I really appreciate that, because wajanyi watu wa comment section mnakaga huko chini mnadhania mwezi kuja huku juu mkasema vitu. You come and have a conversation, say what is the news. Unaweza kuwa hapo unapiga tu story because you're reacting, but once you come up here you realize that actually you have a chance to say what you wanted to say, and you touch a lot of people. So the biggest thing that I have since tumebaki wawili is once you start saying these things, and these are things that you never saw, I'll play it with voice, lakini kuna nishaiangalia kuna mahali nitatoa voice kidogo, but just watch this, and I want you to watch the sides and listen to what they are talking about and who's actually transporting these things. Kisumu, you've known Kisumu to be knowing how to build their own things, but watch this. People need to look at the society in a different angle, not just the political, but geopolitical and even socio-economical political part of it. Now, somebody sent me this. I'd seen it somewhere, but when you look at it, utashtuka. And when you look at when you're napitwa, na hiyo kitu.
It has been under transportation for the last several days from Mombasa, and it's on its way to Kisumu. There are rumors that it's a new boat bought by a certain tycoon from Kisumu. The boat will be used for transportation services in Lake Victoria, and one of the hardest tasks was to transport this boat all the way from Mombasa to Nairobi and Kisumu. And this is going to be a hard task. It already is a hard task because, as you can see, it's already assembled. It's easy to transport it from Mombasa to Kisumu if it was in components and parts, but right now that it is fully assembled, it means it's very huge, very big in size, and it's not for transporting on the road. So most of the times there has to be like this Cheska. You see the one in front is the one that is alerting other traffic people and motorists that there's a wide load coming, and this actually makes them proceed with caution, because as you can see, it's very huge and wide, so it occupies more space on the road than normal or otherwise it will have to occupy. Another thing is that since it is heavy and huge, on most occasions, emergency brake is not possible, because if you do emergency brake, this will be a catastrophe. So the other motorists just have to be careful. Another thing is these people will actually help maneuver it, because maneuvering this huge transportation load requires a lot of eyes on the road. So in case it's passing through places where there are so many people, other cars and everything, they have to help with maneuvering, corners and everything. Now, this Kenya Power truck is used to actually clear the electricity wires. As you can see, they are lifting it with sticks and something like that, because some of these wires are always hanging very low, close to the ground. And as you can see, this thing is very tall and very huge and everything. So they have to lift it up with the poles, make sure there's enough clearance for the truck to pass. Now, this thing has been trending online and Kenyans have been following its
Anyway, so Shadi, as it plays, why do you think people are selling maembe hapo hivyo na kuna tycoon fulani anapitisha boat hapo hivyo instead of iende ikaassembliwe Kisumu, hata kama imekuja in another ship? Why do you think that is? Na Kenya Power ndi Nyoro kwanza venye alisikia aliuza share zake kidogo, dola ikaanguka cause alikuwa anajua Eurobond inakuja. You see all these people players, who has that power to make Kenya Power come and escort such a thing? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Shady.
The Kenyans love. I spoke. You remember on my speech earlier, I speak about there are things in Kenya we still have that academy and that, which are praying that to come and end. That there's some people kuna wale wako nayo na kuna wale hawana. You see, so you know what Kenyans are. If I have money, I'm able to make the traffic on the way na mtasonga nipite kwa sababu niko na pesa, and that is the truth.
Okay, hebu acha nikusimamishe hapo kidogo.
Nikiwa na pesa mtasimama kando nipite.
Hebu acha nikusimamishe hapo kidogo. First of all, there's so many things and I want you to understand hiki to Shady as we are speaking. I want you to understand, first of all, Kenya Power is hiyo ni public service, hiyo ni ya wananchi. Nani huyu anaweza chukua a public service, gari ya public? Kenya Power ni ya public, aende awakomboe wote, waende wakimtolea nini na hizo vitu zote. That is public money. You see? Hiyo ni pesa yenyu.
Let me ask you also with a question. I answer you with a question. Na nani anaweza somesha barabara zote na barabara ni ya public? Juu anataka kupita. Nyinyi msimame kwanza yeye apite na jam mkingojea. Juu kwa na pesa.
Exactly. So Kenyans have, unaona mtu anauza maembe hapo hivyo, yeye anakimbiza tu hiyo ni nini anakimbiza. So that is the backwardness that we have.
That's the thing na nakwambia, people, Kenya is about the money. Nikikwambia sasa nikiwa if I become just a billionaire right now, I just contribute 7% of the budget of this nation. The truth is, whether nikuwe rais nisikuwe rais, nitapewa bodyguard na nikikuja nikipita barabara zote zinasimamishwa zinafungwa.
Yes, it does happen every day. Watu wa Kilimani kwani wanafanyangaje? Si hao ni watu wa wash akiwa nao uweze mguza. How many people have you seen? I've seen them.
So that's how our state equal. Meaning we need to wake up and get out of that. Tunaonekana like washamba, tunaonekana wajinga. Sometimes I feel like, hey, this is too much, but sasa utafanya nini? Or what should you do? But the thing is lazima tukubali matokeo.
And then now imagine the guy that mwenye ana transport hiyo kitu umesikia ni a tycoon. Anyway, now that you're talking about making these things you unazibebanga unaenda kuziassemble, you assemble them. Even this you assemble them kama imetoka whatever, you assemble them there. That's fine. You can take it the way you want to take it. Lakini especially when you're using public, kama ingekuwa ni yako that's fine. But also, I don't remember what kind of tycoon is in Kenya that has not been using public service money. Hata Chris Kirubi ilikuwa pesa ya serikali, pesa ya nyinyi. Na nyinyi mnabaki pale mkiuza nini? I mean, Weston Hotel, these guys, they've always known to use your taxes. But when people do not understand how the taxes kind of work, no one is going to be employed unless you even have a very good business that you started, especially in Kenya. Hakuna mtu mwenye alianza biashara yake tukajua. Even Chris Kirubi was in the government. He was the back huko nyuma ndo anakula marupurupu. So everything, all these rich people, most of them, you see. And then all of a sudden when it comes to elections, you want to run to them because wako na mali wanakuja wanakuangushia. And then wakishapotea na unaanza kulia. You know, it's a messed up kind of way of situation, and they know how to play with the minds. And Shedi, this is where I get mad, like hiki tu ya Raila na Museveni. That's why I did not want to talk so much into it na nikaka out of the channel for a while, because you will find someone coming and talking something that does not make any sense to any rightful man or even a kid. Does not making, you know, it's a lie. He's just making comical jokes and whatever, and then you run after them, and then it looks like they said something good, and then they come back and tell you, you're in politics too. It's like Ruto the other day telling his people, isi ile hewa tunaongeanga. So he knows anaongeanga hewa. So how do you even trust somebody that you know anaongeanga hewa? You know, and people really trust that. And you can see it's BS. He's even telling you in siasa tu. What is siasa? That is not politicking. Politicking si kusimama huko juu, utusi mwingine, ufanye nini. Politicking is lobbying. Hii politics yenye tuko nayo, let me tell you, some of this, that's why we never move forward. Some of these developed countries, you never even see these people. They politic by lobbying. They don't have road shows. You don't even see your governor. You don't even see. I mean, the only person you'll see is the two presidents that they'll just make a very nice wafanye kaka nini mkutano fulani na hiyo imeisha, Delaware or whatever. You know, imeisha na wameenda. Now these other people, the governors, the nini, you will never even see them. The only thing you can see is just kibao. Wameka tu, you know, something pale hivyo ka poster. That's it. Hii politiki ni ya kwenda kupigana huko kuongea matope. Yani unapata mzee mzima anaongea kama mtoto, unashindwa sasa na what the sorry is going on. So that's the reason we can never go anywhere, especially these road shows of politics. Road shows, you should never even see that person. Go read for yourself and know who he is. Then you go and vote. No rudi nyumbani. Story ishe. I see we have a visitor. Ngoja usiake. Robosplat. I need you at least to show your face while you're there stuck weka. And then I'll put you again. I'll put you. Just show. I won't put you on that because I know you guys. Ni wale watu
Be careful. Be careful.
Guys, kama unataka
Ndio
kuja,
hiyo
you can
sasa,
come into the show.
the enemy of progress. Unaona maanza kuona unahubiria vijana na watoi sadaka, ameanza kuleta shida.
Mi sipatagwi na watu bwana. Lakini if you are a real person, just come in. If you don't want to be seen, just show your face in the back. I see you're ni mtu utoe kamera nikuingize kwa show. So yeah, Shedi, kuwa careful na watu wenye wanakujanga hapa, especially kama ni mtu ujui. So but umeelewa kitu nakwambia? Ama what do you think?
Okay, what I think the effect, the thing that is going on there is, unaona, when I look in our nation, the problem is watu wanapigania tumbo zao. Hiyo kitu nilisema juzi, I'm after my stomach. Bora nimeshiba, nimekula, niko na V8,
Yeah.
niko na nyumba Karen,
Yep.
niko na nyumba Ushagishagi, nimeomoka, I'm good to go. You forget that kuna mambo mengi zaidi ya hiyo. So the moment tunaanza kufikiria like that's hiyo ndo kuomoka, we don't care about any other person. So what do we expect? Si mtu mheshimiwa anakuja na kupea shilingi 100 ndio amekuacha umekaa njaa sana, and then ukishashiba, unajua ukipata the way the man's heart, Bernard waniambia ni through the stomach. Nikisha kukulisha, hata mtu akuongea vibaya kunihusu, huwezi kubali, utasema tu ni wewe, and that's how he thinks. Mambo
Unajua Shedi, mi nimeishi
it's
time
high
ya
time
Moi. Nimeishi time ya Moi, nimeishi time ya Kibaki, na nimeishi time ya Uhuru, na nimeishi time ya nani, anyway, hii ng'ombe hii. You know, one person mwenye nimekam ku appreciate, sikuwa na appreciatingi, ni msi anaitwa Uhuru. Hiyo
Nani
time
huyo?
yake Uhuru. Unajua Uhuru, kama kuna mtu alipeleka hawa watu wanajifanyanga waheshimiwa wakubwa wakubwa akawalalisha jela, ilikuwa inaitwa kamata Friday. Wakajua hawajui, hata ukiwa na hizo pesa zako ungeweza toka kwa hiyo jela. Ukishikwa Friday, my friend, ni mpaka Monday. Na unajua ndio kitu mzuri, kwa uliona watu wakianza kwa sababu enda uongeleshe enda uongeleshe saizi mtu anajiita sijui mheshimiwa sijui mkubwa, atakuchapa kibare na hakuna mali utafanya, cause anajua there's nothing you going to do. Yeye ni mheshimiwa. Mi ile kitu nilipenda ya Uhuru, hiyo time yake alikuwa anashika kamata Friday. Kuna leaders wanajiitaga leaders, hawa wanataka kujiita waheshimiwa, and they are public servants. Watu walikuwa wanatoka wanaenda kulala Uganda, ama wanaenda, kama unajua utaweza shikwa, hata ulali kwako, unaenda kulala kwa Raila, cause utaumwa. Na ukiumwa unaelewa venye jela iko. You remember one time Moses Kuria alikuja akasema nililalia kiatu, akatoka huko, wamekuwa pamoja na kina Junet, wamekuwa wote pamoja, akatoka mwingine alalia kiatu, wakaelewa hata venye jela kuna kaaga, because most of them don't know, they know you're not going to do anything to them. Wanakuja tu, watapita, hata kama unapita na gari yako kwanza utaweza sukumanishwa na huko, like you're just a useless person, you know. So, and that is the problem that I feel Kenyans, even instead of fighting, oh, Baba is going, Kenyans need to fight for themselves. There is a time Larry Madowo and Boniface Mwangi walikuwapo, I don't know, Shadi, if you know this, they were there in Parliament Road, and then one of the parliamentarians alikuwa napita wrong side, wakaeka gari hapo, wakamwambia hapana, wewe rudi uingie side yako. Oh, niko na haraka naenda Parliament. Ungeamka mapema, wewe pita wrong side, unasimamisha magari. Who are you? Amka mapema uende kazi, kila mtu anaenda kazi. Most of these other countries, people don't go with entourages. Wengine wanaenda na baiskeli, anaamka time yenye anafaa kuenda, kama ni train anaingia. Hii ya Kenya kuita kwanza, hii kuita waheshimiwa. That's the problem. Mheshimiwa what? Na ndio anakuja kuwatusi huko juu ya nini, anawaambia Kenyans, you need, and especially nyinyi young people, Shedi, you need to start talking to your people. Me, I'm older, lakini you need to wake up and start talking to your young people, because wengine hata wajui the history. I'm just saying, and I think I'm talking for a lot of people hapa hivi. Hii kitu ya waheshimiwa muache. Unaweza jibu mheshimiwa, si ati unamwogopa. Unamwogopa yeye ni nani? Wewe ndio ulimpatia kura, ukishampatia naenda. Na hata saa zingine huko mpatia, alafu anakuambia kijana, unaniongelesha kama nani? As your employer. Civil education is lacking.
atarudi akitaka kura ingine.
Na akianza kufika hiyo time anakuambia oh, nipatie kura, nipatie kura, nipatie kura. Mkimalizana mmalizane hapo kwa mlango. Jaribu ende kumwambia nilikupatia kura. Uliona kama ile there's that video, I think you guys played it here. Ule dem alikuwa akiongea na what's his name, the MP of I don't know Western huko, akimwambia nilikupatia kura, usiwahi nipatia kura, sijui nini nini, cause now he knows is there. Lakini pale mwisho atamuita, oh, nataka. It's a mess.
Okay, hiyo kitu umesema hapo ati hiyo kitu imekuwa ikihappen na kwa mkutano za Ruto. Unakuta mtu anataka kufikia Ruto, anaamua kuja mbio, anapigana na maaskari na mabodyguard kila mkutano, kuna interruption. So sasa hivi Wakenya wameanza kujua kwamba ukitaka kusaidika Kenya lazima ukimbie ugongane na rais mwenyewe.
Na mumkimbilie basi, kama hiyo ndio dawa, mkimbie nyinyi wote, mnamkimbilia. Mpewe pia nyinyi wote, run the guy dry. Hata kuja huko tena, kwa anajua tu akikuja hakuna mtu anaongea, ni bora awatusi, aseme hapa mkutano sitaki kelele. You have a constitutional right to make kelele. Hata ukiwa kwa nyumba ukipiga duru, nani anakunyima?
Hey.
Na si umeona siku hizi makarao wanaanza kuogopa kuingia kwa gari za watu, because kuna watu wameanza kusema wanapiga picha, get out of my car.
Simu zimeokolea watu.
That's exactly what people need to do. Let me tell you, some of these developed countries, what they are doing nowadays, they are working with their cameras. Hata ukisimamishwa na polisi hivi unaweka camera already, na unaiweka live, so that hata kitoa imeshaenda. I'm telling you, those are the reforms. Nowadays, huku hivi, like some places that people live, you find that karawa hizi kusimamishwa ovyo ovyo. Why? Because it's recorded. Hata si recorded, imeenda mtandaoni. So the crowd comes in. Vitu kitambo kuna kina Ruto alikuwa anachapa mtu kofi na hakuna mtu ataona. Nowadays akiuliza kija, wewe unaniongelesha kama nani? Who's Ruto ukimtoa hizo pesa zake zote na zimetoka kwa umati? Where's Ruto ever worked? Pesa yote ni umati. Hata kina Salasia, I don't care. So young Kenyans, it's about time when you're waiting for revolution, and that's what I'm thinking, Raila, to get out of this thing, so that these young Kenyans that keep on talking, especially nyinyi age yenyu yenye inakuja, cause nyinyi ndio damu moto kabisa. Nyinyi ndio watu mnafaa saizi, mnakuwa akiongea matope, hapana, hatutaki, hiyo ni ujinga. We have a new constitution that allows you to do it. Utapelekwa koti gani? Now, you might ask me personally, what am I doing? Mimi usemanganika kwa hiyo mkutano ya Ruto, hata hizi nisimamisha kwa barabara, ati venye ufunga barabara, hapana, nazazua kibaya, because I don't care. Napita ni venye tu sina opportunity, lakini hata saizi nikiwa yenye sina opportunity, I still do some things here. So basically ni nyinyi pia mavijana mwache kuogopa watu. These are public servants, they are not waheshimiwa. MCA, unaogopa MCA? Mtu mlikuwa mkiishi naye hapo hivyo kwa kijiji. Shedi, unaogopa MCA? Mtu mlikuwa mkiishi naye kwa kijiji amekuwa MCA, sasa unamuogopa?
Wanaogopa pesa.
Civil education. I'm telling you.
Hawaogopi
Shedi.
moto.
Unaogopa mtu, hebu toa hizo pesa na umnyang'anyie hiyo gari uone venye atanyenyekea. Uone akikuja kulima kwa shamba yako kama amenyenyekea.
Anyway, I think hebu angalia WhatsApp yako.
Oh, sorry. Hiyo ndio kitu watu mi haki ya mimi hata nisiwe ipatikana mbele ya Ruto mimi. Naweza okay. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, anyway, that was a short brief one-on-one with Shedi, and our dear lady came over too. So we're going to have to close and tuite siku ingine. Today I was hoping you guys will come in, lakini hamkukuja, but it's okay. We actually had a good conversation. I think
Kabla uende. Kabla uende.
Yes, sir.
Kuna hii kitu sijui iko wapi. Kuna hii kitu before uende. Imepotea, imedisappear. I'll check it for you tomorrow ndio nikuwekee. Mtu aliuliza kwani nani hana kwao.
I remember that video. Yeah, kwani nani hana kwa? Kwani Shedi una kwenyu?
Niko na kwetu, hata nataka kununua kwangu. Ni pesa ijaja.
Si hiyo pesa utaambua upeleke Watamu. Huko ndio kuna nyumba yenye imebaki.
Sitaki hiyo. Mimi nataka compound yangu pendeka makuku. Ndio ukikuja na chika moja na kuchomea choma haraka haraka.
Weka huko juu ya nini? Weka huko juu ya third
rooftop
floor.
Rooftop, kuku za kienyeji zikokange kwa rooftop. Kuku za kienyeji zinatemanga zikula majani, nyasi, hivyo. Kwa rooftop wako na nyasi.
Na uniambie kazi kama unataka kuwa mkulima, hiyo kazi yenye unaenda kufanya huko. Alafu unajua kitu kingine Shedi imenishtua, and this I'm going to ask our listeners, the ones that are listening. How do you have a population of 500 and then you're telling us that you're making 2,500 houses? Where are you going to get the other 2,000? Umeelewa hesabu Shedi?
From heaven. Nimeelewa.
Hapo kijiji hivi kwenye mali mnaishi, hata tuseme somewhere like Umoja. You come and tell us that you're going to make 25,000 houses there. Fine, make them. How much is the population there?
Okay.
Anyway, Shedi, give us your last remark to Kiendaga. I know you have to go somewhere. Na watoto watalipa pia.
I have to also remarks ni kwamba let us stand up as Kenyans, let us fight as Kenyans. Alafu muzidi kunua kahawa. Unaona nimekaa mpaka sasa ni saa 12. Wana lala na anakuja.
Lala anapenda hii mchezo ya mkienda kusema tu tunafunga na kuja. Lala, you need to stop this game bana.
I didn't even know anything. I just stepped in. I just walked in. I don't know what went on before. Are you closing or something?
We were just about to close, but now you
can close. It's no.
No, you can. I mean, you're already here.
Hi. Hello.
No, you're here. You're here.
Just hello. That's all I wanted to, and just to.
I know you didn't come to say hello. Just do your thing.
No, I really don't have much to. I'm just thrilled by Governor Wanga of Homa Bay. She is quite a character in terms of development, and it's just good to listen to her and see what she can do. So that's what I wanted to say. I think all governors should emulate, her example. She is reaching out to other governors that are or ex-governors with ideas. She's reaching out to the country to build or to develop or to give hope to this Homa Bay that for 10 years was under somebody called Awiti, who was an embarrassment to the nation. To see within a short time what she's been able to do, I think that may help us begin to think in terms of building our counties. Because if we do, then some of these problems will be gone, what we have. And I think it allows us to see the significance of county government. Because if our energy is in building those county government, then I think we can have a very strong united nation called Kenya with different counties which are strong, that can be able to spearhead development, employment, and all that. And I'm happy because my presence was there too. For all of you that may want to visit Kenya or in Kenya, there's what we call Akipo tours. We had a booth there. It's good to know that now we can actually target those counties. So some of us in diaspora, let's develop those counties. Let's do something that can be able to create employment for our people back home, those of us who are here. And of course, politics, I think it's a must for all of us. It's a must, because if you are putting your money, if you're putting your weight in a place, the politics of the ground counts a lot in terms of what your community can have or cannot have. So let us look for clean governance. Let's not let Ruto off the hook. If someone steals an election, if someone steal your cow, and you shouldn't be eating with them, but they must pay the consequences of their act. Whatever they do must be exposed, because if we don't, then we build a very bad nation. So I'm happy for the counties. You don't have to be in government. You don't have to be with Ruto, that you can do well with or without the national government. Of course, there's interdependence for everybody, but still, there's no difference between Azimio, governor, or UDA governor. All governors have the same opportunity. It's like on set, go from the same line. And so each governor must show what they have on the ground. Of course, the national government has a lot to say. They can a lot of things they can sabotage. But if we strengthen the counties, I'm telling you, the national government will have to follow. Okay, and of course we can strengthen it and create systems that are working, that can make a difference in the life of our people. Most of us are in the West, not because we want to. Of course, we, like any other person, we want to be in other parts of the world, but it's opportunity. Opportunities that are limited back home. And Kenyans must remember that we don't have a very large population. We are talking of 50 million, and there are cities. I think Mexico City probably is around 50 million, managed by a mayor. Okay, so we are not that many, so we can do well. We can actually empower people. No one should go hungry. No one should be homeless. No one should have no job. All of us should be contributing. That's a possibility. But because of bad governance, because of some of us are settled for close-minded individuals that are so primitive in their thinking. I wish they are African, because a lot of times I think what we've done is we have bought another narrative that's not very African. African mentality actually is very democratic and is very true to the cause of justice, okay? Because real African tribal governance or ethnic governance dealt with thieves decisively. If you are a bad guy doing all crazy stuff, you will not be an elder. They will not trust you. In fact, they would get the best, the wisest to be the head of the clan. They go for the best. Africans. So when they talk about the primitive African way, now Africans know it. As a matter of fact, when you think about it, stealing came with education. Thieves in Nairobi, thieves in Kisumu, thieves in Mombasa. That's where they cahoot, and they are cahoot of them to steal from us. If you go to the countryside, you can be very safe, okay? Because they respect law. They don't, if you play around with their stuff, there's kamute, will get you, there's something else. So people actually respected the law till they reached Nairobi. They got these institutions. So we have corrupted our country. We have. So let's not think of getting democracy from the West or anywhere else. We had it. It's just that corruption, and then with the corruption, we become lazy because we are getting cheap stuff. So when Baba is getting shot on the street, we are watching on the side of the periphery, and saying nothing will happen to Baba. Baba is this, Baba is this. Yet we are coward. We don't even want to protect what we have because we already have been compromised. No true country would leave their leader to be there getting shot at, and they are watching, waiting for some kind of a miracle to happen. No, the problem is us. So blaming Baba, and calling him names, and yet it is us who can't protect and defend our constitution when an old man is out there trying to get us the right place, yet we are not joining him. Any leader across the world, you will not touch them. They protect those leaders with their lives. They protect them because they believe those are their leaders. If all of us believe Baba won the election to our leader, why would we let him be shot on the street and people beat him out and we do nothing? And then now we are complaining, it's going to Addis Ababa, it's going to go away. No. Real democracy will do this, and we see it historically around the world. Real democracy, it doesn't matter. Whether it's Ayatollahs, when they got the government, they went and got their leader and brought them back home. There's no boundary to that. So, and real leaders internalized allow, in other words, whether they are present or not present, people who believe in them have them on the inside. So if they say they're stepping into something else, the system should be able to work. We have leaders that already have internalized the message of truth and justice and all that. So we should function very well. To me, I think Baba is being metastasized, So Baba is in Addis Ababa, and now there should be somebody here, whether Monsioka and the Rus, that's what the group should organize themselves. So I think it's a win-win if only we had internalized. We have cognitized
but Lala,
the message that truth cannot be compromised, justice cannot be compromised. There's no peace without justice. If we had internalized that, then we are fine because leadership is already in place. But instead we are complaining. What is that little cat on the movie? What's the name of that cat that is can't move? Mato, what's the name of that cat?
Which one?
The cartoon, the cat on the movie or something. No.
Tom and Jerry?
No, there's another one, the big fat one who can't.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
The cat that sends the owner to go and look for mouse. The mouse comes and the cat is just there sitting down. I
just can't remember the name right now.
Yeah, they just sitting down there. We're sitting down there. I want people to do things for us. And the only one who did it was people from young people from Korokosho and others. They went to the street, and the fat people like us, the middle class and others. And actually, this is true matter. During elections, I have seen people leave Kenya. They say they are leaving till after the election, then they come back. These are Kenyans who should be voting. They don't vote. But when they come back, they are the voters. So we have a fat middle class and others that don't want anything done. Things are done for them. It's colonial mentality where wanamkuba, they are there to be served. So when they come sometimes to the West, it's very hard because all of us do everything. Back home, things are done for them. They cooks for them. They do the pedicure, manicure. So they're used to doing nothing. And doing nothing is what has brought us to where we are. So it is important for us to wake up and do what needs to be done. If you're an engineer, don't be a true one, not the one that sit in the office, do not even know how the machine runs. And then you call ourselves engineers. That's why sometimes people used to go to the Polytechnic to get engineer instead of Nairobi University. And so it is important for us to get our hand dirty. It is expensive to run a democratic system. Every hand must be on the deck. Without it, we wouldn't have it. Baba will be gone, we'll be back to square one. See, Nyerere did Tanzania good because from day one, he began to decolonize their mind, to help them think like what Tanzania. Yani the tribal tag had gone. In other words, those tribal people who are nation on their own merged and became one. And in Kenya, I think somebody has to contradict me. It is few people like Baba whom we can look at their past and see them as those who have transcended that tribal stuff. Okay, they have always consisted on the ideal of a nation, which is can be defined as Kenya in terms of what is done in its past. Others have just used the tribal tags,
Was that Garfield?
Garfield, that's correct.
Garfield?
we are just like Garfield. It's true. But so Tanzania was able to do that. So Tanzanians don't have many nations in one. They have only one called Tanzania. Okay, so they can go for the best. If the Soma Magufuli is the best, Kikwete is the best, they go for those. Even though they may be Chama cha Mapinduzi, but they go for the best. But Kenya, Mato is a great guy here, but you see, I'll support him to go home, but they want the one who is there, who has never don't know what to do, but give them money and they'll vote for that guy and leave Mato here. And that's the problem. The problem is deep. So and this is where Kenyatta failed us miserably. Okay, failed because he didn't do what Nyerere did. Immediately the British left, the colonizers left. What was a cooler? It's all people, tribal tags, barons and others. So the country is suffering. It's suffering leadership because we don't know how to select leadership. So I thought this time would have been opportunity for us to be able to begin to define ourselves as Kenyans.
Lala, I want to engage you. We have a couple of minutes. I want to engage you in your own words. Number one, first of all, let me tell this guy, McDonald Oyola. This is on a funny note. At Rigiji, the sixth, the sixth what? The sixth day of the day, or the sixth day of the week, or which one? which six? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me which six you're saying. Man will never see any side of power other than where he is right now. But Lala, you know the funny thing is that and I admire your turnaround because I think about a week ago, and like they said, there are different ways of griefing. Uh, about a week ago, I was even scared of you because the way you were coming out. You were coming out very like just yani.
I've not changed. My core
No, you have.
belief is still the same. That is, at this time, all of us should have internalized what it is to be a Kenyan and to be able to do what we are supposed to do with Baba or no Baba, because we already have what it is to think or to behave or the ile sumu ya mapinduzi imetuingilia. So that's where I was coming from. So I think my point has always been we failed as Kenya, not Baba, but it's us who did not go out. So that has been my point. Strong point that I made.
Thank you.
But
At
the
least I
only
can.
point that I got off guard is the fact that there was something in the background. But the biggest point Baba said is going to go, I knew that now he will have to get some backing from Kenya, because if he can't get it from Kenya, there's no way it's going to be there, because they could be there still, but the other nation will say we don't want to bring a dysfunctional system here, and
Yeah. No, what I was just saying is that I mean you were spewing fire, but I'm glad that now you're back to where actually we can have a good conversation about all this. Now, my thing is that I want to not engage you into that because I understand everybody was in. That's why I stayed away because people are all just too emotional. But I can see now people cooling down and accepting whatever it is, and just understanding what it is. But let me just. I want to.
it was hard.
I want to ask you because you brought this up, and I even wrote it down. Once you started talking, we don't have much time, but I want to engage you in this. Now, you said Kenya is good with different counties, right?
Mhm.
And you love Kenya having very good counties, and we need to really establish and give the powers to the counties and really establish that, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think about Africa with good countries?
Africa with good countries.
And before you answer me that, let me ask you. Actually, I think I forgot how I wanted to phrase that. I wanted to ask you where you live. How many tiers of government do you have?
Where I live, we have city government. We have county government. We have state government. We have federal government. Yes.
Okay. How many states do you have?
We have 50 of them.
And all those states have the other two tiers.
Every state has the same. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then the federal is what actually now takes care of all those other 50, right?
Federal take care. It has got its own role. One is security, which is really defense, foreign policy, and some crimes, FBI and others that work on larger security issues and crime. But those the two major things they do is really monetary policy, and which is part of security anyway, foreign policy as well as defense.
How many tiers of government does Kenya have?
Kenya has been trying to create.
Stop running around. How many tiers?
Kenya has two.
2 tiers, right?
Correct.
Which is, namely?
Counties and national government.
Okay. So, what is lacking? What is lacking between Kenya and which is the other tier that is lacking from Kenya and where you live?
There is nothing lacking. Actually, Kenya
No. Let's be legit. Let's be legit.
Okay, I didn't understand the question. What's the question?
Okay, so you said Kenya has 2 tiers, right?
Correct.
The county government and the national government. Right?
Yes.
Those are the only 2 tiers.
Correct.
Okay. For you, you told me where you live. You have the county government.
Mm-hmm.
You have the state government.
Yes.
And you have the what?
You got state. You got federal. Yes. County, state, federal.
Now let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the equivalent of that when you look at Africa?
When I look at Kenya, yes.
No. When you look at Africa, where would the 3rd tier come from?
Africa actually, if we have.
How can we get? You're not getting where I'm going. How can we get the 3rd tier?
The only way we have the 3rd tier is to have one African government.
Thank you. That's where I was taking you. That's where I was taking you. I was bringing you home. Come on. Takwambia kama Miguna, come baby, come. Now,
yes.
What is this whole problem when we're trying to find the 3rd tier? Do you understand there's a U in everything that we say of those U's? There's the East African Union, which has the court of and an assembly of East Africa. Then we have the African Union, and we have that. That's the 3rd tier. And that is the 3rd tier that you're telling this Mzee not to go look for it? Well, we are just about there. Come on, guys, get serious. You have to look at governance. If we get that, and maybe we just join, guess what? Becomes the first president of Africa, assuming build castles in the air. First president of Africa. So now your governor, your state, whatever, now that's Ruto. Then your other ones is down there, and your counties and your what do you call it, sub-locations and everything. That is what it is. So why you understand the logic of this thing? People are looking so shallow. They are not trying to look at this. Remember, there's a union. You in everything that you talk about: East African Union, West African Union, East African Union, African Union, everything. Now, what if we decide now? Why you deny the guy to become the president, to become the Biden of Africa or the Trump of Africa? You want him to still become the governor?
Good
governor.
I didn't think of it that way at this time, this moment, but that's a good thinking. But on the other hand, Mato, people who are mourning and groaning and all that, if you're a good student of history, we do know that revolutions, leaders, distance doesn't matter where they are. They can always come and be there. And what a powerful testament if Baba is Nadis and all of us are winning on the other hand. In fact, we are the one that will strengthen him if we understood what he has tried to do and do it. So he'll be, if he happen to be there, he's become the chair of AU, I think he should be able to look to Kenya and see some of the fruits of his labor, which means we are fighting corruption. There are others that are taking the mantle and do not, disintegrate. Disintegration is what will, be bad for Baba. If we really believe in Baba, then we should.
Do you understand that, man? Do you understand that man will be if he clinches that thing? Do you understand that he'll be on top of all the UN in Africa? I mean, if anything mchafuko yoyote ikafanyika, even what happened in Somali, he's the one that is holding that military and all that conversations of all those other countries. He's no longer doing just Kenya. But what do you think? I'm gonna ask you, what do you think Biden, like I'm just gonna use Biden, what do you think he thinks of his hometown, Delaware? His home state, actually, Delaware.
Yeah,
So you have to look at a bigger picture. Open up your mind, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. Open up your mind. Stop limiting this guy to be down here because you want him to be here. Let him go. He's getting a bigger thing than even Ruto will be a nonsense to him.
You know, Mato, you're correct, and this is another narrative here.
Yeah,
you're correct. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening to you.
You know, another narrative here that people are forgetting. If we do believe that the US and others did not want Baba, so they went for Ruto. And the question is, why didn't they want Baba? They didn't want Baba for the very reason that he was going to be influential, have Kenya as a base, and influence other African nations. Remember, who was the advisor of Magufuli? Baba. Those West African countries, who was their advisor, in terms of what they want to do? It's Baba. Congo and the others. Is Baba. Baba's influence has been growing deep. And that's why Europe especially did not want him, because
but
someone who will
but
do what?
Lala, you have to understand that the US can come and give goodies to Africans and Kenyans and come with Smartmatic and play like they try to play around where you live. They can actually play they can play what do you call this, like adverts that are really mind changing and stuff like that. That's how they used it the other time. But now remember, in Africa, not all presidents, and you know how many have been actually have been killed because of not being being anti. So but what you have to realize that now this is not the little population that you can go play. You can play with your house. They cannot play with all those African leaders. Now, once the African leaders come together, and most of them don't even like him, most of them don't even affiliate to them. Most of them, other ones on the West Africa, they're actually on the they are French affiliated. They don't even speak that. When you go to the Northeastern, they speak Arabic and stuff like that. So once you down there is Zulu and and whatever, the Ngosi and all those. When you combine all those things, there's no way of fighting that guy that actually is coming to say, hey, no. You have more power than CIA coming to Kenya and trying to play this and that and that. Playing the whole of Africa, that's a whole other business. It's a whole difficult business.
That's true. But you see, the other point I was making here is there is the moral ground, moral force that Baba had, the credibility that he has, which I've heard from many quarters out around Africa. Some of the people I meet and know, okay, they saw him as the Mandela, and Kenyans don't know that. They saw him as somebody to defend. So even those other leaders who are corrupt, who their people are reporting against, needed a cover. So Baba is seen as someone with credibility that those revolution can listen to, okay? And secondly, seen as somebody strong enough to defend and protect African interest in the continent. And finally, Europe. This is the truth Kenyans should know, that Europe, especially French, British, and others, they depend on their colonial, the African that they used to rule. They may have given some flag, took their flag away, but economically, politically, they still have a lot of pooling economically underneath. And the resources of Africa goes there to be what? to be processed so that they're sold expensively. We've seen the minerals and others. So Africa is one of the places they will never leave if you stop all the minerals, all the resources getting out of Africa today. I think it's Dr. Kwa, whatever that they say, that in a year, Europe would probably start becoming a third world country. Those countries will be the third world because of so much that is coming out of Africa. Because
is that our problem or theirs?
There would be a third world country because...
Yeah, that's not our problem, that's theirs.
No, but you see, that's the reason why they never wanted Baba. Anyone who is for Africa, protect the interests of Africa is not needed. So, and this is why it's a counter offense by leaders of Africa picking on Baba.
That's what I'm telling you guys, and you guys are here crying foul. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I know you're a reverend. That's why I've been staying away from this place, because I'll come and talk matope. I wonder why people are crying. It's a counter offense of the African presidents. They're saying, come here, we know you, we've seen your infrastructure, go against them and do this. And they're united on it. He's going to get it. Fact. He did not want to do it. He was forced to get into it.
Yeah, you're correct. So what it is, on a global perspective, he outmaneuvered the West, who didn't want him. In other words, they fought him, but now the African are saying, no, the one that you're fighting, that you don't want to win 5 times his stride, and you get Mathematic and others to stop him from winning because you want people who will protect your interest. This is the one we want. So it is actually a counter the offense that the West has put on Africa. So Baba is playing on a different level than Ruto and the rest.
He's way up there. In fact, that's what I was telling you guys when I said Arakaraka and I came out. Do you know that? Okay. Anyway, it's fine. It's already out there. It's on the national TV now. It's not Ruto that took Baba to. It's Baba that Ruto came to Baba to go to talk to Museveni about the oil thing. So Baba said, yeah, okay, I'll go talk to him for you. Yeah, remember Ruto, they were not seeing eye to eye. People try to show like they're together. No, the guy came and asked for a favor. And Baba will always, Baba is Baba. And yes, it's for the good of our country. So people started castigating Baba for no good reason at all. And then the other thing is, the funny thing is that when people are castigating Baba like that, just because of pictures, then you actually go back and look at, you realize that the core principles are not even talking. Even the people that actually, the leaders themselves are not talking. It's the common Mwananchi that is just yapping.
Mato, what people don't see is that, you see, 1901, or from 19-some to 1901, that railway from Mombasa, 1890-something to 01, arrived in Uganda. Kisumu was that time part of Uganda. And that line has been the lifeline for the nation in terms of transportation. For the first time, even Idi Amin time, it was still not threatened. For the first time, Kenya was losing that line because Uganda was seriously considering, started getting things from Dar es Salaam. Okay? It means that railway line would have been impossible because the Rwanda and the Burundis passed through Uganda. So if Uganda was going to trade with Kenya, it means the economy, some of the lifeline around that line, which is just basically the economy is built on that line, would have been gone. Okay. So that discussion, that talk, that's the first thing Baba to agree to put those people, I see it as Baba putting them all together, basically. Out of that, that line is assured lifeline. Okay. Kenya and Uganda are able now to establish that lifeline because it was threatened.
Exactly. As a statesman, he took Ruto, alienda kamongelesha akampeleka. Now everybody came out with everything. I mean, if I come to you, Lala, and as a pastor, and I tell you, hey, please let me go talk to Bernard for me, please, because for the betterment of our country, what would you do?
That's an honor.
But then there's also these propagandists. So many of them, they're even in between us, where they come and just throw something and they say, "Oh, he make, and now, Baba is succumbing to Ruto and whatever." It's Ruto that actually followed the guy. But biggest thing, let's not lose the matter of this thing. I'm just saying, but Africanism.
You're very, very correct. You're correct, because if Mombasa could not serve Uganda, what is it good for? What's that port going to be used to?
Exactly.
That's what I was going to do it. So it means basically Ruto had a lot to lose, and Kenyans had a lot to lose. So if Baba already is not even the chairman, has already opened that route which the Ruto administration destroyed, it tells us there's some more things to come. So yeah, you're correct.
Exactly. And when you're at a stature of Baba, where everybody I mean, he had to quit, first of all, infrastructure, and come back to come and do his own thing back at home. But now when he wants to go back there now, and like I asked you, the 3 tiers, we only have 2 tiers right now, and Baba has always talked about 3 tiers. What if that 3rd tier is now the Africa? And now finally, like now we're talking about the West African countries to stop central banking with French, and he goes and we change all that, so everything comes back to Africa. Do you understand what will happen to Africa by itself?
Mato, we are talking a lot of sense here, because look at when he was infrastructure, chief for Africa. Look at that. If you can play that that plan to fire Africa into an industrialized, where we can produce our own. Baba targeted the energy, and remember Inga Dam and the others, and how that would produce energy and be sold less because of the possibility of African different areas. I think Congo, I think Ethiopia, and I think the other part. There were 3 areas that the power would be produced to kind of fire, enough energy for Africa. Because one of the biggest challenge at our time really is energy. Without energy, there is nothing you can do. Producing energy is useless, because you can't do it, and if you do it, it's going to be too expensive, because of the way we sell energy is too expensive. So, and Baba stated clearly that he had discovered, or he had resources that will build it from Africa, within Africa. In other words, he was not going to look for money from the West. And out of that blueprint, actually, Traores and these young men who have taken over the country actually used that Baba, because Baba was targeting resources, mineral resources, because they were being sold cheaply out there. So we wanted to hold on to them and sell them ourselves, like those young men are doing, basically.
Remember that's the time. Remember that's the time that when he was there as an infrastructure, that's the time that SGR was really fast-tracked. TZ ran their thing real quick, even their trans AMs, and that's TZ. Ethiopia also ran their own. It was ran real quick. Everything was just coming in. And let me ask you a question: where you live? I don't want to tell. I mean, you can tell them. I don't want to tell you, but I know. I mean, where can't you go on a railway line? Where you live?
No, everywhere. Just get on a train, you go.
You can go wherever you want to go, right?
Yeah.
But once he left that thing, everything stopped, because the guy actually had started to really connect Africa. And the moment we connect, and he's just connect with all the infrastructure and stuff like that. Now imagine when he's on top of it.
Mato, maybe one of these days just play that plan of Baba, when Baba talks about it. Like he knows Africa like in a hand, just play it so one of these days Kenyans will see Now Baba is going to be the chair to put that in operation. I'm telling you, they're a great thing for this continent.
Exactly.
Things.
So you
Some
want
of
him to
us
keep
will
on
be
talking. You want him to be. You want him to keep on being called there to Anini, and he's already gotten there. Yeah, come on. Mtu wa kitendawili. You tell him to. You go call Kalonzo or Watermelon, or go call Ruto Mwizi and whatever. Local politics. He's past that. He's gone. He's been asked by the African nations leaders, not him. He never even wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So let's now stop complaining. The guy we're good. Tumempishikisha laini akienda huko juu, will be proud. Remember when who was the AU from the late one from South Africa?
Was the lady?
No, was it? It's not Zuma. Who was the one? And he's passed. When he got to the AU, that was when they were starting. They weren't even that strong. I think even East Africa was just as Tanzania and Uganda at that time. We were not as many as we were now. We didn't even have an East African court, East African, parliament and things like that. Africa is uniting slowly, and that's why there's always that union. Because at the end of it, be it our generation or be it not our generation, let me tell you, Africa is going to be one country. I know we cannot call ourselves. I've always been thinking about that. Are we going to call ourselves USA? We can't. So maybe United Countries of Africa, UCA, or something like that. And it's coming quick. All tiers are getting together. And when you have someone like that now who's up there, then quickly, we are catching up. We'll catch up. And nowadays, it's not like Squeezer Gaddafi where they will just, come and eliminate you. Nowadays, there's too many things, too much technology, too much, people are just, it's not that Africa that people left. Even Kenya, we have arms, Uhuru left us with the arms shop. So things are changing. Let the guy go. Let him be the first. Maybe he might be the first president or whatever. Unite everybody. Let him play the bigger games. Here, you play your games. And
Matua,
yeah.
There are certain factors that are in the favor of that unity.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is these revolutions in West Africa.
Exactly.
Those revolutions is threatening the other. And they are actually questioning those leaders in terms of who is controlling Africa. In other words, if you come with some, because they used to do it, Mobutu and others being controlled by others, and they do all these things to people, but now that is being critiqued. People are asking those questions. Why would we trust these people? So there's a fear. So when Baba comes in, I consider those forces being strengthened, the forces of Pan-Africanism, and people wanting to do their things on their own, and the structure is there, and if
now quick question, remember, who brought democracy? Who fought for democracy in Kenya?
Who brought democracy?
Who fought for democracy?
That's Baba.
All right. So now, because a lot of African countries, some of African countries that are left, I think in Guinea-Bissau, the ones that are scared, Congo now is not scared because it's part of us. Now Congo is being strengthened that if you touch East Africa, you touch one of us, it's a whole thing. We will come to you, So Congo is being strengthened by just being a part of East Africa. So if he loves democracy, what do you think when he gets up there? Everybody is gonna be democratic. He's gonna, you fight for the democracy, and everybody is gonna feel now we are safe. We okay. We can actually talk. For the countries that have been left out there, feeling like that they can have a say because they have nobody to fight. Because some of these leaders that actually are there, like the current one, is from West Africa, where they're still colonized without being colonized. You understand what I'm saying? Because their central bank is still in France. So there's so much that Baba can do out there, and still his home state is Kenya, right? It's just kind of like a federal government, if that was to be. So Ruto will be, I mean, you've seen federal states and federal state and county. So that's what I'm saying, the third tier of our country. Do you want the third tier to be held by somebody else? Or would we just tugongane hapa mateke mwenye atashika ashike?
Ni kweli, yani imekuwa tu tumekuwa na 30 lakini 30 ilikuwa ni new. Now my UN, Western, wazungu.
Exactly. So that year now, let it be a Kenya.
Monetary policies is made up there.
Yeah.
Things we can do, we don't do them. We're waiting for somebody else. I think there's a preacher from Zimbabwe, I think Zambia, what is his name is. It looks like a traditionist. I like him. The guys, and he, I think he was in a conference and people were talking about what we don't have. We can't. There's minerals, in that we have. We need to be processed in the West. We don't have the technology. Then he stopped him and said, "You know what? Then why do you have these universities? Why do you have them all these years? They have been producing students. Where are these professors? We need to fire all of them and even go hire some professors from outside to come and share with us what we need to know so that we can be able to produce, able to process, able to add value to our product and sell it out there. Why should it be done in Europe when actually the mineral or the product is right here in Africa? And then you claim that we don't have enough, the technology we need. Then he says, then what the use of having these institutions if they can't? Spend more money, go get somebody, buy a professor out there, come and help us get this thing processed here in Africa. And because that neocolonial
mentality, yeah,
where it's almost like somebody has to do it better than us. You look something is a little bit less, and we see it even in the church. The same thing.
And another thing is ushamba, like Ruto is a kamshamba, doesn't understand. Let me ask you a question. I mean, not even ask you. I'll just say it in a rhetorical kind of way of saying it. Do you know that if somebody did not know where Baba came from and came to Kenya, he would think Baba is from any other county rather than even Kisumu? Because the man is all over the country. He's like, he's a darling of the whole country. I mean, you don't even know where he comes from.
That's the point I made, Mato, that Nyerere made sure Tanzanians, at independence, he kind of took away that tribal ethnic mentality and created ile Tanzania,
Right.
We are all Tanzanian. Okay. But in Kenya, Baba is that example of a Kenyan. Exactly what you are saying. It's a Kenyan. It's not for Luos alone. It's not for Kikuyu. It's for Kamba alone. It's a Kenyan. And even Tom Mboya, I met people here when he put the airlift, all over from every walks of Kenya when they came to the US. And I meet Kambas, I meet Kikuyus, I meet Kalenjin and others. Everybody was selected from everywhere. When Odinga's father was looking for best, he went to Makerere and convinced Kibaki to come back to Kenya because it was the best Kenya had to be able to run the economy. So it's the things that were there. It's just some people came and started creating this thing, and the potential to make Kenya, that like Tanzania, was there, but for some reason they fought that kind of a mentality, so they created this tribal, chiefs and warlords, out there. So
and the funny thing is that even Pombe Magufuli just came to Kenya and actually warned us. He told us, sisi wa Tanzania tuko na makabila 126. Akaangalia Uhuru hivi akamwambia, nyinyi mko na ngapi? Akasema tuko na 45 na tunasikia kama kuna ingine 46 imefika. Akasema nyinyi wa Kenya, all you need to do is lose your tribalism. And the problem is we are so tribalistic, and the thing is that we also get leaders that are so tribalistic that even you can go to a point of your private places and talking about that, and people are thinking that's something that you need to talking about superstitions and things like that. So what is happening in Kenya right now? I was about hey, you see now what you're doing to me, because now mami amekuja sasa now I'm stuck here, and then I was about to close. Guys, but anyways, I'm not gonna stay for long. Okay, let's do 30 minutes. I'm keeping quiet. I want to open another discussion. You guys talk sasa. Ongeni, nyinyi wawili. I'm listening. Mom, come in.
Good to see you, mommy.
Asanteni. Nice to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Nilikuwa nawasikiza from the back and nikafikiria tu niingie. Sikujua unataka kuhama, lakini tupee muda kidogo mtu aseme kidogo. Now, Baba has been very good instrument in our country. Na ni furaha hata sisi tukiona he is prospering or going for a higher post, which is a gift we can always give to him and let it happen. We wish him well. Sababu hata kuwa tumefika hapo tumefika, kuna jambo ametenda ama facilitate ya kufanya tuko tunasimama imara. Honestly, hata hiyo maandamano, ingawa lose our people, ili play a crucial part of putting people still strong and believing that Kenya belonged to us. Despite of how we were treated by these people who are now look like wamenyeshewa, actually it's a good deal. Baba wacha apate hiyo kazi. Though I personally, I'll miss him. Seriously, I'll miss him. But because he said it's just a phone call, that's fine. Tumwombee Mungu. Watu watatokelesha wengine ambao wako na nguvu na maono mazuri. Wacha wale watu wako ndani ya hii serikali ambayo inasumbua watu Kenya. The other thing I want to say, do you know Africa ni nchi ambayo inaweza kuwa imesimama imara vizuri sana kuliko any other place in the whole world. Africa has got everything. Na hiyo ndio kile kitu Africa wangejivunia, kuwa wana exchange from one country to the other. Hawa wana hiki, hawa wana hiki. Iwe kama ile ilikuwa inaitwa silent trade. And we would be living in this country of ours, the one which is called Dark Continent, in a very peaceful and gracious life that we will be having. Lakini kwa sababu akili zimenyongwa na watu ambao hawatujali hata kidogo. Na to be honest, hawa watu ambao hata wanajaribu kunyanyasa Afrika wao wenyewe, kwao kuko na shida kubwa sana, hata zaidi kuliko Afrika. I'm telling you. Shida zao hamuziwezi wa Afrika. Africans have been given a gift of life. Wamepewa nchi nzuri ambayo weather ya huko yote throughout the year is conducive. Hali mnaishi bila mnataka. Lakini tumepata shida due to these people who are called Western countries. They don't want to see you prosper, kwa sababu wanataka mkae hivyo hivyo maisha yenu yote. Nayo ile tabu tuko nayo ni hawa watu ambao wanajifanya ni maraisi wa nchi. tofauti tofauti in Africa. Hao ndio wameleta shida na ndio wamefanya Waafrika wadhoofike na waishi maisha ya kinyama, because wananyemelewa na wanakubali. And in fact, I believe Africans, if they unite and say no, we better respect each other na tufanye kazi pamoja, lakini msitutolee masharti ya vyetu, sababu everybody have their own country. Take care of your country, leave us take our own country care. But now tumepata vibaraka ambao hawajali maisha ya binadamu. Wao wakishapata haja na wao wengine. And in fact, they are getting in the name of those people who live in that country. What a pity. So for me, I'm trying to say, I don't know what Baba is going to play for the side of how to manage and maneuver, ways of how Africans can live happily and have peace in their country. Because if we have people who can stand and say, this is what we want, it's not about a fight, it's about agreeing and having a peaceful talk so that they can understand. But if there are people who are coming, mashati wamefungua vifungo, muone vifua zao, wamekasirika, wanakuja na hasira, we cannot live that way. I believe Africans are people who are ready to live in their country as it is and develop their own ideas. I will give you an example. I saw a gentleman in Nigeria. Those guys, they have got their own, I don't know whether it's, in Kenya we call it garage. Pahali unatengenezea vitu kama gari ama nini. They have a factory whereby they are manufacturing or they are making military parts, like for the airplane, all those parts that can be used by military for their war. They are making it in, I think it's Nigeria. Those young men, they are enthusiastically ready to maneuver those, to manufacture those parts, and they are being used. And what there is that tunaangaliwa tukionekana sisi weusi, they think our brain is black. Our brain does not work. Na hiyo ni kitu ambacho it's a myth. Wameweka watu wakafikiria sisi, na hata sisi wa Afrika tukafikiria, yeah, we are dormant, we cannot do anything. But I am telling you, if we have some guys wa unite waseme nchi ya Africa, this is the way to go, like how Traore is doing. I don't know whether he is right or wrong, but those guys, the way they want to drive their country, and may God give them great breakthrough for them. And that is what people should be looking at. Kenya ndio watu wangepewa nafasi ya kufanya kazi zao kibinafsi, ndio waendeleshe maisha yao. In fact, Africans even they don't beg. Africans, they are hard workers. They want to work and earn, and that is what they have been doing. But it has been curtailed by bad governance that has given them cold shoulder, that they can't get any development for them to be at ease of doing what they like to do. Those are the problems that people are facing. But I don't know, sijaelewa zaidi AU ni kusema nini ama ni kazi gani mtu huwa anafanya, sababu Baba ni mtu anapenda maendeleo. Ni mtu anapenda watu wakiwa na furaha. Ni mtu anapenda kukutana na watu wanabonga story wakiwa wanafurahiana. He loves people and he loves development. Those are the kind of people that we would like around in countries of Africa, so that we can see that we excel. Wale ambao ni maskini waanze kuinuliwa, waweze kusimama. Na si ati wamekuwa maskini kwa sababu ya kukosa kufanya kazi. In fact, they have become poor because of the governance of the country. That is why we have poor people. Otherwise, iko mali yaweza kusaidia au poor waweze kuamka na kusimama. For example, in Kenya, hawa watu wameingia juzi kwa hii government, wamekuwa yani wameshiba kabisa pesa, wamepata mapesa, wanatoa wapi? Si ati wanafanya kazi usiku na mchana kama huyo maskini. They are just ni kupora. Na hiyo pesa wanapora ni ya huyo maskini ambaye anakufa na njaa, anakufa na ugonjwa, anakosa kwenda shule. That is what exactly it is. Na wanafanya hivyo kwa nini? Sababu walisema walienda huko kukula. And when they do that, mtu anapata zaidi ya vile anatakikana kuwa nayo. Na yule hana kabisa, ni kudhoofika, anadhoofika. What are we doing? Very shameful. So these are the things that we need them to be rectified so that people can live in their country happily and safe and even excel. Others will have some other discoveries that they can contribute to the government. And then the government gets some other income because of the hard work of those people who want to develop their minds and put other products on the table to sell. So for me, I always look at my country, Kenya. I see it's a country whereby things can be very well done because the more people work hard, the more the government do the development, and the more they get out of that hard work and unity. So I'll stop there, Mr. Lara. Then you can have the opportunity. But I feel so bad, and I really feel it, how my country does not progress with all these problems that are really invented by these people who went there with the name of having more than they can take, more than that they can handle, because that is how it is. Na ndio unaona hii mambo yote ya shida inaendelea kuwa kubwa kabisa, kwa sababu yule aliingia hapo asaidie wale alikuwa anaimbia wimbo, hana haja na wao. Yote yao na yake anasoba, anapeleka pahali anapeleka, anakaa nazo. How do you expect those poor people to have anything to use or anything to rescue them? Nothing. Everything has been taken. So how do you expect us to live in such a country that has got nothing for a poor person? Na huyo poor alikuwa anatarajia ati huyu akisimama ni mkubwa wangu atakuwa ananitupia kitu kidogo. Si marupurupu. In fact, just give them development and the way they can work and get their own money through their hard work. Lakini watu wanafanya kazi, hawapati ile wanatafuta, sababu serikali imewatoza kila kitu so that you don't get up. Mtalala huko chini tu, mnaumia. Asante sana. Mr. Rala, you can take over. Thank you.
Asante Mami. I think we all feel it. We all are sad that Baba is not going to form the next government, and we thought that was the trajectory. But based on the reality on the ground, and based on, I think, our own failure, I think Baba's given us a chance to redeem ourselves as Kenyans. He has gone where we believe it can be used to get Africa on. Because see, there's something about Africa that we must all understand. When you live in the West, two cities may be totally different. Almost I would call them same in so many ways. Same type of buildings, same type of streets, but you go to one city, even within a city, smaller city, you find a house that would cost there $1 million. The same house with everything in it, another place costs only $100,000 or less than that. And you can get a house, similar house in Cleveland, Ohio, would cost you about maybe $100,000. The same house will cost you $3 million in California, somewhere in San Francisco. Okay, so why is it that way? The first thing is perception. Okay, perception is everything. You may have a nice thing, but people see the location where he is, they perceive that this thing will not work for me because of the location. So the location becomes everything. You see, the perception that the world has had of Africa has been so negative, okay? And when people like Mandela came to the scene, the African brand all of a sudden became, better prospect, because here was a hero, okay? Somebody who's clean, somebody who's decent. So the very language you used to say or speak about Africans, savages, and all that stopped, because here was somebody who could shame them in the West. Right now we have that character called Baba. So when you put Baba as the leader of African unity, African Union, what you've done is that you have sent a message to the world that we are serious, we are people with impeccable and credible, characteristics that can lead Africa. So they will not come and say these are all corrupt people, because it's not. That's the same way they used to talk to Mandela. It's not. They are the ones who are corrupt. Okay, but you see, the West are happy with people like Ruto, who are corrupt, and others that they can manipulate and get what they want. Look at sending our people to Haiti and other places. This is what this man is doing. It's not there for our interest. So I can see for the first time Africa is saying, you know what? We have our own son. We want him to guide us and lead us to where Africa ought to be. Okay? So in that sense, the value for Africa will be raised very, very high. Secondly, Baba is someone who has been through it, experienced it, been tested and tried and found worthy. So he can be listened to by everyone. So Baba is a win-win for the continent. Baba is a message that Africa means business. That we are
Okay,
not.
Lala, start closing. I haven't even cooked. It's 10 o'clock now. That's Jakula,
Okay,
and I have to cook my breakfast for work tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you better go do that, Baba. So here is what we are presenting to the world, our own, to Africa, to guide Africa. So on a different, if you look at it that way, rather than for us we want to die with him, let him be to die with us on the street, okay? But now going up there, it gives us room to prove that we believe in Baba. So our belief in him means actually believe in ourselves. Basically, that we're going to do the thing the right way. So if we do it the right way, Baba wins. And that is a stronger message that he has a constituents that is not crafted by guns and rungus and others to support him, but these are people who believed in the ideology. Okay. So I think we come out very powerful if we understand the mission that God has given us right now to fulfill in Africa. So let me stop there. And so for all of you who are downhearted, which is okay, it's normal. It's normal when your leader, starts to step away, do something else. It's normal. But let's look at it in perspective and see what we are giving to the world and who Baba is. And Baba has not been compromised. Nobody can buy him. He's not worth what people talk about. So we those people are writing, Baba is a con man, whatever. No, there is for him to be this old, become a con man after going through what he's gone through, So you gotta think before you write. Otherwise, it's okay to feel the pain, and all of us feel a certain feeling that is to lift the gap. We wanted him to be the president of Kenya. Then after that, then he becomes the AU chairman. But it seems as if he's passing this one. But let's look at a bigger picture, and then we should be okay when he gets there. So let's pray for him. Let's support him. May God be with you, Baba, and all of you that are fighting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, asanteni sana. Mami, don't go. You guys are gonna have 30 seconds parting shot after this, because after you guys do your parting shot, then I'm gonna be closing. Let me just celebrate some people who have been with us here. Let me start up here. Kidogo kidogo hapa juu. Boss lady, thank you so much. McDonald Ayolo, I hope I said it right. Asante sana. Let me see who else has been here. K. Hey, I went too far up. Kiri at C. Thank you so much. George Omara, thank you so much. And Esther Kabiru, where have you been? Umepotelea wapi wewe? Anyways, so I want to give you guys 30 seconds each, parting shot. 30 seconds, please, strictly on that. It's 10. I have to go prepare my dinner and my breakfast for work tomorrow. Meniaka. But thank you, everybody. Asante sana. Mami, 30 seconds, parting shot. I think she got kicked out. Okay, Lala, your 30 seconds, parting shot.
I want to thank you all. First of all, I want to remind Kenyans that you don't have to be in order or in government to have a working county. Homa Bay, with Governor Wanga, is doing just fine. And I'm so glad that we can show the rest of Kenya that, yes, without the government on our side in Homa Bay, we are doing just fine. And I'm so pleased that even my own company was presented right there, and all those leaders went to see it because of this great governor called Wanga. So Kenyans, let's build a country, not tribal cocoons. We can make it with Baba in Addis, wherever, and all of us are working hard to build Azimio as Kenyans, staying together. We can do it. Let's always stay on the message, truth and justice. If somebody stole election, they will not let's not let them free. Let's build Kenya. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Mom. Your 30 seconds, parting shot.
Okay, thank you very much. I know Kenya will stand one day. Hata wanyanyure namna gani, Kenya itasimama. Kuko na watu ambao wanaihitaji na kuna watu ambao wanaipenda kabisa, ambao wameamua liwe liwalo. Baba aende na wao wamebaki. They say there is no vacuum, and it is truly no vacuum in Kenya. Sisi tuko na tutasimama nayo. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you. Both of you, if you guys want to keep on, we'll be here in the backstage. Just don't touch it if you want to keep on talking. When you're najua Lala nakwambianga don't touch, and then you touch it. Once I'm playing those Nini, there's always a backstage. That one, at least I know the show is out. We can still converse even when I'm doing my thing. So, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. This is Sound Candy Talk. And this is where you come and actually have your conversations, the ones that you cannot have anywhere else. It's called Sound Candy Talk for a reason, because we always say, come with your mind, research, and also a good gadget. Because here, it's free. You can get in, have your conversation, and have your voice heard the whole world. Please don't be afraid. It's Sound Candy Talk. And this has been yours, Kenyan with Love. Tupatane badai, wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. And we say what? We can't stop talking. Because once we stop talking, guess what we're going to do? We're going to start fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, take care wherever you are. Till next time. See ya.
Sound Candy Talk sasa imeboreshwa zaidi. Kila siku ya wiki asubuhi tunapambazuka na maabudu na sifa kwenye kipindi cha baadaye tunakuletea mahojiano ya moja kwa moja kwenye one-on-one show.
Kwanza tuanze kwa mtazamo kwamba umeona vile hali ilivyo.
The age that you are living in, so many things are happening.
Alafu nakuletea taarifa zinavyojipuka siku hiyo zikiwa ange kwenye In the News Headlines. Kisha tunaingia bungeni kutazama wabunge na kusikiliza tuliowaleta kupeleka bungeni iwapo iko imara.
Mr. Speaker,
they should not be given an opportunity to be in those committees.
who told the people to close the business?
Kisha baadaye usiku kuinangana kwenye udadavusi kamili, Open Forum Political Show.
Open Forum Political Discussion Show.
Panya akitujue tumepata the right person.
In churches, in funerals, come up and say, oh, it's our turn.
Sasa Sound Candy Check imekamilika.
Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu 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 tamtamu. Lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, mbili yako na tano yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi
Kutafuta uongozi kwa kutumia dini au kutumia kabila, unagawa watu. Kazi ya uongozi ni kujenga watu wawe kitu kimoja.
The 2.2 billion has been spent in the office of the president and state house between July and September. If you do that calculation, it means that we spend in that office 23 million per day and 1 million per hour. That cannot be sustainable.